few decades, and we see what's that's done. I mean, if you've ever lived in LA and driven on the 405, you know what that's done. There are consequences to apathy in those respects. While it's certainly not a universal characteristic, I think being involved, at the very least on a local level, is much, much, much healthier than this constant, abstract federal deference, you know? How much does the federal government directly interfere with your lives? I imagine that if you take the city, county, state together, there might be a great deal more interference there, but people don't follow that stuff. They just follow the big WrestleMania match.
I disagree that it's an every 4 years thing at this point, because they've whipped us into such a tribal frenzy at this point that I feel like it's still every single day. People are looking for their side of the political news. So I think it's a lot more systemic, and it's a problem that we're dealing with every single day now, instead of just the idiocracy of every presidential election. So I'm kind of concerned about that, because
guys, I had to do it. I had to go live early. Barely even ready to stream. Room's still a mess. Had to brush my hair a little bit because right now, Vaush and Destiny and some other fucking guy who's clearly a chud are debating live on stage. And I gotta do what I gotta do, guys. I gotta do what I gotta do. Here, let me fix up my camera really fast.
Conversation for their followers, and their followers just blindly go along with it.
I think the problem is when it comes to our information economy in the United States, it is truly the most capitalistic in its rawest, purest nature. Of the most popular content will sift to the top generally, and unfortunately, as I said earlier, what that tends to be is the most sensationalist reading of any situation possible. Again, nobody wants to hear about a nuanced or granular take on any particular policy. They want to hear how many children died in Afghanistan under Biden, or they want to hear how many drone strikes there were under Trump, or they want to hear, their particular pet issue and how upset they can be about their thing. But I don't think at the end of the day, anybody is actually trying to go online and engage in meaningful political discourse to actually further the political power that they should be seeking if they actually cared about these levels on a political level and not on like a political hobbyist level. I mean, we can go back to multiple protests. You can look at, unfortunately, BLM, whose causes I'm highly sympathetic to. How many people that were part of this movement are looking to the federal government for guidance on an issue where the federal government has very little, if any, input, because a lot of this is going to be determined at the city level. You're a police chief, you're a mayor. These are the people that are going to be making the calls on your levels for policing, but everybody wants to have a national conversation.
You guys see
Nobody
this,
wants
right?
to get involved at the local level. And I think that when you have social media companies that
White
are getting
balance.
paid money to serve you content that serves into this kind of
Come
rabid
on.
frenzy of caring about these very hot button culture war issues, at the end of the day, there's just not really much space for somebody to come and give a well thought out take that shows you both sides of things and shows you how you can push your issue a little bit farther. It's just going to be whoever's screaming loudest in the most entertaining fashion.
Yeah, I agree with almost all of that. And I'd say possibly the main difference is I don't think it's ever going.
Okay, I'm sorry. Destiny is as far from being a Nazgul as you can possibly get. Nazgul is the end of the pipeline through class reductionism. Oh yeah. Nazgulism is the logical conclusion of class reductionist ideology. Destiny is not a class reductionist. He doesn't
Democracy,
really
even
care
very
much
smart
about
people
class.
turn off their rationality and become extremely emotional. The way that I really like to explain the contrast is just listening to someone talk about politics, making a bunch of hyperbolic claims, and then you say, very good, let us bet. Let us bet. Let us put $100 on this. Let us have an unambiguous statement, which can be determined later to be true or false, and see what happens. And I have done this a lot. So betting is one of my big hobbies. I'm currently at 22 wins out of 22 bets resolved. Right? Many people accuse me of deliberately finding the most, what's the right word? Deliberately finding suckers in order to bet them. But I do just have a standing offer. I'll bet almost anyone on almost anything.
Yeah,
it is very hard
like
to get anyone to bet, because while people like to express their opinions, they don't like the idea that they can actually be decisively proved right or wrong. They don't want to actually lose money, and they also don't want to be humiliated for having publicly said something incorrect. Although, I am always quick to say, look down upon those who refuse to vote. Don't look down on people who bet and lose. They did the right thing. look down upon those who say, I'm not going to bet. This is above the kind of question that one could bet on. Those are the people who really are responsible to have opinions, and of course, it's the vast majority of people.
Yeah, I bet a Republican that Biden would win in November, and I'm still waiting on them to bring it back. No, I agree though. I think you need to maybe not literally put your money where your mouth is, but figuratively at least. People say the most spurious stuff with no accountability, and this goes all the way up to media. And I agree. Infotainment is great at getting people to listen to you, but it will always prioritize sensationalism. And to that extent, there are really only two solutions: you make better media, or you make better people.
Should
If you
I
want to talk
include
about better
Vaush chat
people, we
on
need
the
to talk
side?
about media literacy in classes.
I'm going to include
Now,
Vaush chat on the side.
for me at least, I think this would be a fairly worthwhile endeavor.
Vaush
Poor
is
media
embedded
literacy,
the website. That's
you're
streaming
really
the
on your
website,
own,
so we get the live chat
ideologically,
too.
once you're out there. I'm not talking about state indoctrination, just basic understanding of graphs and statistics, an ability to fact check, stuff like that. Most Americans can't do that stuff,
I'm gonna do
It's not
something-
because they're
I'm gonna do
dumb.
something
It's because that's not a
Sigma.
lesson anyone ever taught. I think that would go a long way, at the very least, in the long
Sigma
term,
moment.
towards addressing some of this. When it comes to making better media, though, I admit, it seems like with the laws that we have concerning free speech and the way our media acts,
Sigma moment.
sensationalism will always rise to the top.
Oh,
Now, you
this
see
is going on for a
differences
while,
in how
Lonnie, don't
much
you worry.
sensationalism is preferred in different media groups. So obviously there are ways of differentiating between different populations. But in terms of fixing the whole problem across the board, I feel like you might have to go a little bit more radical than just addressing media. You might have to address the
This
underlying
guy
incentives
is
that
most
guide
definitely
media.
a chud.
We've seen some experience with this. The BBC, for example, which I don't
Don't
like,
worry, Lonnie.
is state-funded, not state-run, state-funded. So they don't need to worry about getting more advertiser dollars, at least not in the way our local media corporations do. They still have their problems. This is one of the biggest challenges we need to go into the future facing. So any perspectives from any side of the aisle are much appreciated.
I'd shit myself.
I would
if had
actually
to do
chime
a
in
live
real
debate
quick.
on stage. I'd shit
Sorry to sound like
myself.
such a downer, but I
in front of
actually
a
don't think
crowd.
media literacy is the problem at all. I think plenty of people can be totally media literate. I think the problem is it's a level of interest. And so if you don't know my background, I argue with a lot of people on the internet. We scream at each other. Very rarely we'll have a good conversation. And over and over and over again, I've run into people who care or seem to care a lot about these particular issues. And when I push them for even 2 seconds on it, I find out that they haven't read past the headline of an article, or they haven't read past, the 180 characters of a tweet. It's not really that hard to read an article. Something that I find is if you're willing to read a full article, it can even be a Fox News article, it can be a CNN article. If you just
Don't
read
worry, Lonnie.
the 5 minutes
We
that it
good.
takes to do it, you're already more informed than 99% of people online having that conversation.
True,
And I
actually
think that
true.
it's important to recognize where the problems.
I'm pausing it because I need to emphasize on this. He's completely right. Like, if you read past the headline, a lot of articles talking about what's going on currently, you are going to be ahead of what most people are saying.
come from, because if you don't be more informed than the vast majority of people on any given topic, but I think people are just more interested in treating it as like a sports game or sports team or a hobby thing where you get online, you just scream
Destiny's
at
head is
people.
really big.
And when the problem is that,
It really
no
is.
amount of media literacy is ever going to fix that problem.
Are you getting in trouble? Destiny's banned?
Yeah. Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
here's the thing, Hunter Avalon.
I've
I don't give
never
that much of a
actually
fuck about
defended
my
public
Twitch.
education in public, as far as I can recall.
So
but
if it happens,
I
it
think public
happens.
schools teach you how to read graphs. It's happened to me a bunch of times. I think it's a normal experience. It's much
Also,
more
who
what
is this
Destiny is
person? I
saying.
don't
That
know who
people
they
are
are.
disinterested. They don't try.
It's just a guy on the
So,
stage.
while it is easy to say that people are being denied opportunities to learn, it's more of people don't take omnipresent opportunities to teach themselves. It's really not that hard, but it's the people are apathetic and disinterested. And at the same time, when they are not apathetic, they are so emotional that their desire to learn is,
Cat is
just,
streaming
is
on
very little.
Twitch
They
too?
most they
Yeah.
want to learn a few talking points. I remember actually several times I've talked with
My
my
Twitch
dad
stream's
and
not
I've
gonna
shown
have
him
viewers,
something
but
I've
hey,
written. He
Hunter,
says,
by
"Well, that
the
doesn't
way,
look like
you
anything
have-
I'd agree
you
with."
should have like a
It's like,
mod role,
well,
right?
you only read things you agree with. Like, how do you think you're going to learn anything if you only
okay,
read things
Hunter,
you agree
you're
with?
modded now.
I
don't
just
know
wish
why you
I just
weren't
wish
already
do your
modded.
own research didn't mean like here's the top 15 memes I saved on my Facebook page about this like highly complicated issue.
This guy.
It's actually the top 15 live streams you appreciate. Thank you. So I just want to say, I guess as the optimist up here, I feel like there's a lot of unexplored room for pragmatic learning in our schools. It's true. I do have a bit of a negative opinion on most people's propensity to engage in depth with political information, but we can never just shrug our shoulders and say that, can we? I mean, any public policy which begins and ends with saying, people are dumb, it's not a real good game changer. There are things we could do. It's true that we do teach basic statistics in schools, but not very applicable, usually in the abstract. A, X, and Y. We get colored triangles on graphs, but a way of relating this, perhaps. A sociological course teaching us about the ways in which certain types of language tie into different political
There's
movements,
so many things
or what we can look
schools need to
towards
teach.
when we want to deal with certain issues. Take crime in America. How many people's solution to crime in America is, well, maybe people's culture should just be less crimey? Like, there are public officials that say this. It's your job to write policy, and that's what they come up with. Well, thank you. You're paid very well for that. And the pundits who spill it, I mean, they're paid even better. No, we have to, even if it's a desperate hope, try to find ways to better acclimate the citizen to making good political decisions. It makes them freer, too, because being trapped by your own ignorance is the worst kind of enslavement.
So I want to talk about internet censorship for a second, because Destiny, you mentioned that people just consume online the things that they're sympathetic with, or the things that they want to find online. And I don't necessarily say that that's true, because there is what some of us refer to as the blue checkmark army, where they're the ones who are allowed to give an opinion, and algorithms will do absolutely nothing for you if you're trying to break through with a differing opinion from what most of the blue check marks say. So I run a page called Liberty Memes, and yeah, you mentioned, oh, well, let me show you the memes on my phone. I find that that's a way to get people in to become active in something by seeing something they believe in.
Tweet it out the stream.
The biggest problem that I have with algorithms is I can't get a message. I can't get somebody to read anything either. And that's actually why I make memes, because you can't get somebody to read a whole dissertation on something, or even an article that's only a 2-minute read. So I'll post a meme with a whole idea and a link to an article, but I have to fit that into the first 3 lines when I post it on Facebook. Otherwise, it goes into the see more category. And nobody clicks see more. Nobody clicks on that. So we actually have enough people in the Liberty movement, or whatever movement you're in, or whatever social movement you want to be involved in, to promote your ideals on social media by clicking on that content. But you don't do it because we're all seeing what we're being fed in our news feeds, and we're clicking on Chinese cooking videos instead of finding the pages of stuff that we agree with.
I do watch the Chinese cooking videos.
So I don't think that everybody has the ability to bust through the algorithm like people who are speaking top.
Low key, this is my best advice I can give you if you're looking for like new content. There is a lot of content that comes from other countries where they don't speak English on YouTube that does not require any understanding of any language other than English. I watched a video. It was completely in like a language I do not know. And it was a guy building just by hand building a house into the side of a mountain. It wasn't one of those like primitive survival videos where they like make the big house with the pools and stuff. It wasn't like that. The dude was using power tools, and it was like a time-lapse documentary over months and months and months of him actually making a working house with electricity and plumbing and everything in the side of a mountain. Couldn't understand a word of the single video, still highly enjoyed it. I definitely recommend you guys check out non-English speaking YouTube for content like that.
You used your phone 4 hours a day for the past week, right? I'm sure there's more than a few in here that have had that.
Well,
I might use it a little bit.
Yeah, 4, just 4. Yeah, with regards to this, I mean, this is fundamentally a problem of free market economics. Social media is run as a ground down to the nose attention economy, in which only the most ruthlessly efficient deliverers of information and entertainment can survive. The only alternatives to this, again, functionally, are either better consumers, a difficult prospect, or some kind of regulation, whether that be governmental through terms of service agreements or something else. But this is ultimately one of the big problems that very left-leaning people have with this type of economic driver, which is that there are externalities. We have maximized the thing we're prioritizing, which is watch time. but we've left other
Crust
things
in
to
my
the
eye,
side.
guys.
Reliability, trustworthiness, or if nothing
where you
else,
been?
the ability to properly diversify the content you consume. I've heard convincing arguments that one thing we might want to do, even though it would be hell for advertisers,
We welcome you,
is get
Silex.
rid of social media feed algorithms just forcing you down a given path if you've decided you like a given set of things. This is a very modern phenomenon. When you're on TikTok, Twitter, whatever, you cultivate your feed, and after that you are locked in, and without deliberate effort it's hard to break out. In real life, back before the internet, you couldn't do that unless you were in a cult, right? I mean, the way in which you communicated with the world was diversified by nature of it not being digital. Oh, and my PR manager called. They said to clarify that being ignorant is not actually the worst form of enslavement, just to clarify. Anyway, I don't really have any solutions to this, I guess, outside of more deliberate, drastic action.
That was an okay
Okay,
joke.
so
but
let's-
didn't
So
get
in
any
terms of
laughs.
externalities, I don't see
Okay.
the externalities so much as just people are bad
maybe,
and want
Emmanuel,
bad
I don't
stuff.
know. How can I know that?
So it's
Yeah,
the same
progressive.
as with many other markets where the market's working just fine, satisfying consumer demand. And it is not the case that consumers are actually doing much to anyone other than themselves in terms of the media they're consuming.
Bad political decision making leads to bad political leaders.
If you allow me to finish. So now here's the thing. Now you may step back and say, yes, this is really messing up the politics of the country. I will say that the politics of the country does seem quite bad to me, but in terms of what social media is
This
doing
is most
to it,
definitely a hostile
I mean, the
audience
way
for
it's
Vaush,
more of just
and to a
revealing
lesser
the way
extent
that things
Destiny.
always were even more clearly than
This
before.
audience seems
One of
to
the
be
main
heavily
differences that you see
right-leaning.
between now and when I was a kid is when I was a kid, there were so few, the technology didn't allow you to have so many choices. And so it appeared that the opinion was more unified than it really was. And social media has now exposed that there are many weirder views out there than you previously would have realized. But the thing to do is step back and say, all right, given what the free market is giving us, what people actually want, what is the alternative?
Yeah, that's the
I say
problem.
like the real agenda of regulation is to take one particular
Something Destiny is really good at is dealing with a hostile live audience. Whenever he was on that JLP thing, he did pretty well there. I
So
was
far, they're not
surprised.
regulated. They're just worried about getting regulated, and so they are trying to preemptively self-regulate in order to get some of the criticism off their backs. What I'll say is you can see that almost all of the self-regulation is just about giving additional left-wing indoctrination to a broader audience. It isn't really about giving diversity or giving better views. It's about taking one of the many crummy views and trying to tell everyone that's the true view.
I think
I
for,
love that
for
that's
two
literally
things.
the rights
One, the biggest problem
philosophy.
with alternative media or social media driven media today is not that it's exposing things, it's that it's created this epistemic divide between groups of people in terms of people don't even understand what's real anymore. I don't know, what is it like? Is it 50% of the Republican Party still thinks that Trump is the legitimate president? You have these people that believe, I don't want to hit on any COVID topics because I don't know how much of a hot button topic that is.
Oh,
here,
it's
but there-
coming. It's coming.
you have all sorts of people that believe these things that are not just a matter of different opinions, that are not a matter of exposing like, oh, well, this is just how things are. It's a matter of people are just buying into complete and total fabricated fact. Alternative facts, I think, as the Trump administration might have called it once. And this is a problem that is, I believe, the largest country or the largest problem in our country today. I think it is actually destroying our ability to have conversations. A really uncomfortable conversation you could have about January 6th, for instance. It sucks what happened, but if you're in the heads of all of those people that showed up for that protest turned riot, and you truly did believe that your country's election was being stolen from you, you truly believed that there was a grand conspiracy in the Democratic Party to disenfranchise the majority vote in this country to appoint Biden as president, I mean, I'm a little bit empathetic to why they would go in. But this is the problem. When you live in these different information worlds, you can justify all sorts of horrible behaviors because your particular collection of facts might be an adequate justification for it.
Well, since you touched on January 6th, first of all, I personally, and I'm just consuming fake news, but personally, I don't think that anything absolutely crazy happened other than some protesters being wahoos. I don't mind. That's up to you guys to have that opinion. But if
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you
that's
say,
the audience's,
they were consuming fake
reaction
news
to
that convinced them that their country was being taken over,
January
and they were
6th
flooding the Capitol for that reason.
Insurrection.
What's the difference between them and the Black Lives Matter protesters that did the exact same thing in the summertime in the Capitol?
No, So,
Destiny
no,
sounds
no,
like a
it's-
fascist right now.
Hold on, if I may. I think it's a
What?
perfectly fair question, actually. If you look at any major social
think so.
movement, you will see disinformation. That was the case with BLM. That was the case with the civil rights movement, the suffragette movement, the abolitionist movement, the American Revolution, and everything prior to it. Misinformation is just a part and
Bars.
parcel of life. You try to minimize it, but at the end of the day, it is something that will be produced and sometimes focused on. You have to take a look at the underlying social motivations and the processes that led to that. So with regards to the January 6th stuff, again, you can, as you said, normalize very terrible stuff with the wrong descriptive understanding of the world. You can take just about every heinous totalitarian ideology that's ever festered on this planet, whether you want to go Nazism or Stalinism, Pol Pot, wherever you want to go, if you fed a person the right set of facts about the world, big air quotes, by the way, you could approximate those ideologies in them. Not perfectly, maybe, but you could get them about 95% of the way there. And since people's ideologies tend to be molded by the world they believe they live in, I think they'd go the rest of the way themselves. It's critical that we do everything we can to maximize the extent to which people are being given good info, or at the very least, that the misinfo they're being given is innocuous. With BLM, we had a largely peaceful social protest, the largest in American history. There were problems with it. Some folks did get hurt, but some did during the civil rights movement too, You can't do do-overs on this. Any social movement in history has got its
He's right
bad
about
spots,
that.
and if you go ahead saying, well, that one shouldn't have happened because of this and that, then I don't know, we'd all be living in the we'd all be Romans
Well,
or
were they
something. I
teaming
don't know.
up?
We wouldn't have evolved
quite yet.
socially. I'm very cautious when we say stuff like media is giving people the narratives they want. What's the issue? Because if you asked a Roman what they would have wanted, what would they have said? I don't know, bloodier gladiator fights? A horse-drawn carriage master back in the 1800s. They would have wanted better horses, healthier horses,
I'd like to actually get to Professor Kaplan in a second.
Oh, sure,
Okay, anything else? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Whenever I hear these discussions, I'm always thinking, so what do you imagine regulation is going to do? Right? You can say, well, regulation is going to get rid of the misinformation. Misinformation according to who? According, as far as I can tell, to the left-wing side. So what we're going to see is that side will get to say that their view, which combines some true things with a lot of misinformation, is the official view. And in terms of what good you even think it would accomplish, what do you think that all people who are not left-wing are going to think when they see that social media is full of content warnings against any view that is that is not liked by left-wing people? It just undermines the credibility of it, and I don't think it does. Unclear that it does anything, or maybe actually makes the conspiratorial thinking even worse.
God,
to see
conservatives
even
really
the social
are
media
just
companies are
delusional.
part of this. One thing that I've noticed in the last year or two is how many right-wing people say, "Look, I just don't trust anything on social media; they're against us." And this is just for
They are
moving very moderately in the
legitimately
direction of
just
having some
delusional.
content warnings. If there were actual regulation where they really were stripping out anything deemed misinformation by left-wing orthodoxy, I think this is going to give you probably a worse situation than we got now.
I wholesale reject I hear this, the libertarian argument so much is, I'm going to present to you like what we have now, and then I'm going to say that the only alternative is the most authoritarian, crack the whip. There's a team of blue check marks breathing down the neck
Whoa.
of every 17-year-old person that just read Atlas Shrugged, looking to ban them off of social media. I don't think that this is the case where it has to go. I think that there are places that there are things that we can do to encourage a little bit more media literacy, encourage a little bit more media responsibility. So for example, I think on Twitter, something as dumb as when you go to retweet an article, it'll say, hey, have you read this first? Now, might not be popular, but maybe that could expand into a little like captcha quiz. Like, hey, you're about to retweet this article. Do you have any idea are we allowed to cuss here?
What's that?
Are we allowed to say bad words here?
Say whatever you want.
Yeah, you're about to
Libertarians.
retweet an article and it asks you, right?
Shit.
You're about to retweet an article and ask you, do you have any idea what the fuck you're reading, right? I think that these are okay questions that you can ask. I don't think it has to be all
I
one
like
side
that.
or all the
I
other.
like
because
that.
I will say that
I went to retweet an article on Twitter a little while back, and Twitter was like, we know you haven't read that article yet. Do you want to go ahead and give it a read? And I was like, okay, Twitter. Yeah, I am going to give it a read. And I gave it a read, and I decided not to retweet that article because the title was not misleading, but left things out.
dwellers and people that live in rural communities, whether we look at the stagnation of the Senate and our inability to do anything across party lines, whether we look at how we poll on racial issues or how we poll on religious issues or how we poll on things like abortion. We've got Texas passing our draconian bounty hunter laws to get people in trouble for driving somebody to a Planned Parenthood clinic.
Josh,
This is not working. Whatever is happening right now is not working, and I refuse to let people hijack the conversation and say, well, there might be problems with your alternative suggestion. Well, I mean, yeah, there might be, but what we're at right now is a sinking ship. You have to try something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that I was painting the worst possible picture of what regulation would be like. I think that's actually what it would be like. In terms of what we have right now, we're already seeing these kinds of content warnings that you're talking about. So, and I will say 100% of the content warnings that I see on Facebook and Twitter are left-wing. 100%. People that are not left-wing see this, and it does make them think, the system seems very stacked against me. And it does actually encourage conspiratorial thinking. And I say, if you imagine something that was more aggressive than that, something where every time you tried retweeting something that was against left-wing orthodoxy, you got a warning that you should read something. Something where people notice, well, it seems like they never do it to anyone other than people on my side. It does make people feel worse. I think that if they really tried doing it that aggressively, you would actually finally see the rise of alternative social media, because it would actually lead people that did not agree with it to say, I don't want to be on this anymore. So far, social media has tried to say, well, we don't want to make it so severe that people that disagree don't want to use this anymore. But it is actually getting to the point where if you disagree with standard left-wing views, you feel like you're using a platform that is hostile to you.
Do you think that there might be a problem in terms of one side of the political aisle representing, now I'm not going to say the Democratic Party is perfect, but representing slightly more factually true statements than the other? Because what do you do when it comes time to rectify that problem? If you're a Republican and you believe that the coronavirus is fake, that vaccines are going to turn your body into a giant magnet, that Trump is still the president of the United States, that MS-13 illegal immigrants are coming through and murdering people over the country, yeah, you're probably going to feel like any type of fact checker is biased against you. I don't know what the proper way to baby people through that problem is, I'm genuinely curious. Do you think that there exists some, again, I'm not saying that the left is perfect, because trust me, I've been involved in a lot of my content and calling out left-leaning creators and being like, hey, I don't think this is factually accurate. But it does seem that there's a big difference between, hey, we disagree over the finer points of, this particular BLM homicide case or this police case versus Donald Trump is absolutely not the president of the United States. There's just an information gap here.
I'd like to know, though, how do you determine the
they're
difference
kinda
between real
uniting a
news
little
and fake news? And you get to a point where, for example, and again, I'm coming from the right wing, and I'm actually referring to what CNN reports. Now, I've been involved in the Cuban Liberty Movement for decades, and I know in general what the Cuban exile community is looking for.
Imagine
and
Destiny
what the
just
community
calls it
in
the
Cuba, who
G
was
slur
just
right there.
protesting in July, was
That would be
protesting for.
hilarious.
And that's a brutal communist dictatorship over the last 62 years that uses their people as a farm so that they can have largesse. Now, at that point, it's devolved into state capitalism. You're not allowed to call it communism. But the point is, when I was watching CNN this summer, they told us that the protests in Cuba were because they didn't have vaccines. And that is not what the protests were about at all in any sense. So when you see things like that, and they're in Kabul and they say they're mostly chanting death to America, but they seem very friendly, or when they go to a burning city and say that it's a mostly peaceful protest, you start to wonder, where do I find news that I can rely on? So you'll start to wonder, why don't people believe that COVID is real? Why don't people believe in vaccines? So let's change the subject to COVID.
He's not a mod.
And
I don't think.
what do you think should be done right now with COVID? And do you think that the current, the solutions that were offered in the beginning were acceptable across the board, or do you have differences?
Right. A quick thing that I'd like to hit on first of all, though, I worry about this. How do we discern between fake and real news? Because I think it's really rather easy. When it came to the protests in Cuba, a lot of that was the Cuban government's poor handling of the coronavirus pandemic, their inability to quickly respond to the growing need for, among other things, vaccines. With Kabul, if you take a look at polling across many countries in the Middle East, the population is not actually that antagonistic to the United States. Their governments tend to be, and we focus on the protests where they're shouting death to America. I'm sure if you look in America, you can find protests of people shouting death to America. It's a sentiment that is held in places. But we need to look past the narrative that's being driven, try to draw out a greater truth based on what we think is most
A
or
lot of
least
people in the
harmful.
Middle East are
There will
not
always
nearly
be
as
misinformation, but what
anti-America or
worsens
like
the world to the greatest
death to
extent.
America
Now,
like as
speaking
you
to
think.
COVID and misinformation, which worsens the world considerably, I believe this is fully consistent with any libertarian principle, by the way.
Despite
was very
all the
much
shit
in
that we do
favor
over
of
there.
not only what we had now, but lockdowns early on. See, it turns out that in the states that implemented lockdowns after they were taken away, the businesses continued to flag and stagnate. Why? Because people still aren't shopping because of COVID. COVID was the problem. Lockdowns were just a way of shoring up the edge cases of people getting sick in their workplaces, which happened, and there were vectors, and there is plenty of data to demonstrate that lockdowns were, both here and in foreign countries, effective in their own ways. Now, some people think this is an imposition on your freedoms, and I say this: your freedom to keep your business open is infinitely less important than the world's freedom to move beyond an ongoing plague. That is by far the greater freedom. There is just no getting over that. And if it comes down to those two between each other, I would take the latter anytime. And the faster we get over the pandemic, the faster people start shopping again. So really, it's in all of our best interests.
Now, I know Professor Kaplan does not agree, and I would like to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I've actually written several pieces on the cost-benefit analysis of COVID versus COVID prevention. And not only is the control of COVID not infinitely more important than the other stuff, it's almost the other way around. So by my calculations, which I presented them to a wide variety of audiences, and I just said, like, I mean, I do not have time to go through the numbers, but in the audience, like
It's actually good that there's a pandemic.
Tell me how you want to change the variables according to my estimate in order to change the answer. And really, even on very conservative estimates, the total cost of all the COVID prevention is about 15 times the value of the total life saved. Now, as a libertarian, I am not a utilitarian, but I will say that if you are a libertarian and you favor things that do not favor government action,
The value of lives saved. We know you're a libertarian.
At minimum, libertarians should oppose government action that fails a cost-benefit test. So again, like just to give you an idea of the key story. So like here is the question that I begin with. How many months of normal time is a year of COVID time worth to you? Right now, almost everyone will give an answer of 10 months or less. What this means is that the prevention of COVID, all of the efforts, have actually led to the destruction of an enormous number of life years. If you go and compare this to New York Times estimates of the total life years lost from COVID, it dwarfs it. Then if you say, well, the correct thing to do is to go and compare life years that have been lost from prevention with the life years saved, even on very conservative assumptions about how much worse it would have been if nothing was done, we wind up coming up with an answer. We're coming up with my answer, which is that this has been a ridiculous moral panic. The cost of prevention has been much greater than just allowing the disease to take its full toll. Now, that said, there are some important things that could be done with COVID, like legalizing the vaccine for kids now. It has taken a crazy long time to do that, and there is no good reason why parents' decision on this should be overruled, right? And by the way, I do urge everyone to get vaccines. They do work, but at the same time, I'm not going to put a gun to your head and try to make you do it.
Destiny?
I think it's a mistake. I think that a really common error in judgment we make, as unintuitive as it sounds, is we tend to evaluate how successful or unsuccessful something was based on the outcome of that thing. And it seems like a reasonable way to do things, but if you spend any time at a poker table or if you spend any time doing probability, you realize, well, something might have turned out good, but you made horrible decisions every step of the way. Something might have turned out pretty poorly, but you actually made all the right decisions and there was some unknown variable or something that you just didn't account for well enough. When it comes to talking about like, well, the preventative measures that we took for COVID ended up costing way too much, we would have to, I guess, dig through how you do your particular calculations, but the idea that, say, another variant comes out that's slightly more infectious or slightly more deadly, maybe 2x, 3x, 4x more deadly than the last, is always something that's going to be very difficult to factor in any sort of risk assessment. That being said, I do think, again, it's important that we have a granular approach to how we do things. I don't believe that every single country has to be Australia. And I don't want to speak to all of their shutdowns, but my understanding is Australia is some of the most insane shutdowns of any country in the world, although it also has one of the lowest case rates to show for it. But there's probably some things that we could all feel reasonable enforcing. For instance, wearing masks is not a big deal. Socially distancing is not a big deal. These are probably guidelines that most of us can follow that don't have a significant harm to the economy, that also allow us to kind of move forward through this pandemic. And then also encouraging people to be vaccinated, whether that's private businesses requiring employees to do it, or the government providing it for free, I think are also beneficial things that help us move a little bit further past it. But I'd be very cautious in saying, well, look, we spent a lot of money, so it wasn't worth what we did, when we don't really know how bad it could have been.
my own opinion on this is no. Sorry, guys, you can boo me again, but I don't trust the official story on COVID. Oh my gosh.
Yes, we know. You watched Joe Rogan, buddy.
I don't think that the measures that were put in place.
I think they actually like sorted the audience because every time the crowd claps for a lefty, it's the entire left side of the it's coming out of my left headphone, so it's the left side of the room. And every time the conservatives clap, it's from the right headphone, so I'm pretty sure it's the right side of the room. So I think they actually split like lefties and righties into the audience, left and
Proposing
right.
would happen. You know, the jobs report from September came out, and there was only 190,000 jobs that were added in the whole country. And in order to recover to pre-COVID numbers, they still need 5 million. How do you solve that? You know, I just personally feel that the COVID measures got us to that point. But when it comes to the vaccine, and the vaccine is being pushed on us by the government,
animated Vaush
and it's the
emotes. We need
same
to get on
government
this
that we're
train.
told was funding
What?
gain of function for the virus that they're telling us we have to get vaccinated for. It becomes a point where you're like, why? How do I believe this?
Okay, to be clear, the gain of function stuff.
So we're speaking. I think to getting our good media with regards to the funding of gain of function research. As I understand it, we still don't have any direct link between U.S. government policy and the funding of gain of function. But I'm going to leave that aside because if anyone disagrees with me on that, you're not going to be changed by my opinion. It doesn't matter. When we talk about domestic COVID policy, these are actually two entirely separate things. Even if you were deadline on track on getting Fauci to a human war tribunal or something, that has nothing to do with the ways in which we could effectively, and yeah, we should ignore the sideline issue because to me, we're dealing with what, 750,000 dead in this country? When we come up on the Civil War death toll, it'll be the most deadly event in all of American history, which is insane. You know, we got the vaccines pretty near first, what with us being America. And when you take a look at the rate of vaccinations, at first we skyrocketed as people like me got vaccinated. But now we have flagged behind other countries, European countries. You want to be outdone by Europe? They're now 10, 15, 20 percentage points higher than us in the vaccine. And why? They're also capitalist. Their media should be feeding them the exact same disinfo our media feeds them, shouldn't it? If it truly is just a natural human condition issue, then this should be a ubiquitous issue. But it's not. There is something about this country, this festering and unhealthy attitude towards this condition, towards this problem.
I'd like to get to Professor Kaplan again. We don't have a lot of time.
We really tried to cut him off there, that moderator.
Yeah, so Destiny is right. It is often hard to figure out whether or not you did a good thing. You could do everything right and things could work out badly and vice versa. However, this is a case where we actually have very strong reason, in fact, definitive reasons to know that we did not actually try very hard to get to the right answer because there was a technique that could have been used very early on, and that is voluntary human experimentation. Voluntary human experimentation would have cut the time in order to find out whether vaccines work down from 6 months to 1 month. Voluntary human experimentation could have been used to find out how deadly diseases were. Voluntary human experimentation could have been used to find out how well masks work, and so on. And yet, no country on earth did it. And why not? Well,
it's not allowed.
It's a great question, but
Under
I
certain
say that it
circumstances.
definitely has
Tuskegee
a lot to do with the great aversion to paying people to do things that are useful.
We did the Tuskegee experiment, so you know.
Is he in favor of the Tuskegee
But this
experiment?
is
What is happening?
All right. The reason I think it's an issue
I
is
have
because
heard that from the human subjects people in my
I know for
university
sure
to
this
explain
guy
why it is
was
that
in
you
favor
get
of the
permission to
Tuskegee
ask people
experiment.
questions. All right, the fact that one time, decades ago, there was a horrible thing, which was a crime under the law of the land at the time, and is a reason to say that someone cannot voluntarily go and get and be part of an experiment in order to cut
maybe
the time.
it's not a big deal in the white community, but in the black community, it's a very big deal.
Look,
most
it
African
was
Americans,
illegal at the time.
but
to
most
do it,
African
of
Americans,
course. It was illegal to infect someone with a disease without their consent at the time.
Careful, you guys are supposed to be on the same team, I think.
But
so.
most African Americans who are hesitant to get the vaccine or are speaking out against it are saying this because they have an example in their community of a time when the government did testing on them. There are people who are paranoid because there's a lot of insane stuff that goes on. So that's my.
Or Jenny McCarthy.
A
lot more people have heard of her and her crazy stuff than any of this history.
I think you're hitting on the do your own research community. And I've talked to so many of these people. If you don't want to trust the government, you don't have to trust the government. That's fine. You can hate the government. You can even hate the pharmaceutical companies in the United States. Why not look at any other government on the planet that is looking at these vaccines? Why not look at any other private company in the planet that is looking at these vaccines? Why not look at any of the academic institutions in any country? There are so many people that are on board saying that these are safe and effective. And for some reason, do your own research crowd has convinced themselves that a guy that makes a ton of money selling you, crazy energy drinks and neurotropics online is going to have the answer for you. But this conglomeration of all these private companies, academic research, and government-funded institutions aren't going to be able to do it. I totally don't buy that answer, not even remotely close.
See, it's all coming through this side. It's all coming in through this side. And then when the right-wingers laugh, it comes to this side.
Well, I just want to say that, continuing on from that, I don't know why anyone has an issue with corporations saying you got to be vaccinated to work there. Especially from libertarian communities, right? Why have the government force business owners to not decide who they'd like to freely associate with? In this case, it's being done for good. We've had drug tests in this country for decades, and that's done nothing but disenfranchise folks for nothing. I don't know if anyone ever smoked weed and couldn't do their job because of it, as long as they were sober by the time they got to work. But then you have the vaccine to the current plague.
I'm never sober when I show up.
Seems like there are some good arguments for that.
I'm always sauce.
If Hollywood actresses wanted a job, they could just let Harvey Weinstein rape them. I don't know. I'm both, so thank you. I do have a question actually that's going to make the audience and the panelists kind of mad. It's about race and it's about abortion.
Oh, great.
So
it's going to be the idea that abortion
it's a question about race and abortion,
people, right?
And I'll ask it now.
It's going to be that one.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that the high percentage of abortions sustained over various generations in the African American community has adversely affected their ability to participate in democracy?
There it is.
So
there it is.
If I may.
Yep, there it is.
I think that what we are looking at is nothing more than a natural product of economic demographics. When you're poor, and a lot of African American folks are poor, slavery, Jim Crow, a lot of baggage there. When you're poor, your ability to take care of a child is severely stunted. Not only that, but your perceived ability, I've known a lot of poor to-be parents who are really anxious about their ability to take care of a kid. Can't fault them for that either. Not to mention education. I know that a lot of folks think it's real easy, but in reality, stuff like proper family planning is positively correlated the better education you have, and that correlates with your level of income. What we're looking at right now is nothing more than a product of long-standing demographic trends, and if we want to address it, the best way to do it is to address the underlying problem, which is to fix racial income inequality, to make sure we all have free, fair, and equal education. I think that if you do that, pretty much every meaningful disparity between racial groups in this country would disappear.
Anybody want to add to that? Anybody want to add to that?
I think the two big issues that I mentioned at the beginning of this, education and healthcare, both directly play into this. When kids have good schools to go to, when kids have after-school programs, when kids have extracurriculars, these are things that they can do besides getting pregnant at early ages. And then when people have access to free or cheap or reduced cost contraceptives, these are things that people can do to have more reproductive control over their lives. I find the phrasing of the question is very odd to me, that we're saying that somebody exercising reproductive control over their body is compromising their ability to participate in our democracy, when I can't think of anything less democratic than not being able to exercise control over your own body.
I'm just saying that it's a lot of babies that could have been voters. That's all.
It's also a lot of babies that could have been born to single-parent households. It's a lot of children that could have grown up that have gone cycling through the criminal justice system. It's a lot of I don't think that you can force people to have children. Well, at least that's not where we're at in the United States if somebody doesn't want to. Again, as Vaush said, if you want to reduce the abortion rate or of any given community, then reduce the accidental oops pregnancy rate. And whether that's with free or easy access to contraception, or whether that's through better education or job opportunities or whatever, these are all things that we know reduce the rate of people getting pregnant.
So I actually personally advocate for voluntary solutions to things instead of getting the government involved. So I'm not here saying, okay, make abortion illegal and throw everybody in jail. I'm not saying that. But there is an organization that I know of that has a voluntary solution to this, and it's called Let Them Live. And what they do is they go and they find girls who have an abortion scheduled, and they ask them, what are the mitigating factors? What are the reasons that you need to do this? And they help them overcome it. And they choose to have their children. So, there are market solutions to this.
That
so
I'm okay with. If you're just
I don't know, picking someone up to the point of where they deliver the child and then you kick them out and say, good luck. I don't think that's the best,
long
unless
as
you're
that's just what
seriously
they're
telling
doing.
me that this is an organization that is going to support a mother for the 18 years that it requires to take a child from infant
Also
to adult.
true. Yeah.
No, because that's the welfare state. We just want to help them get on their feet and overcome these obstacles. And people do. Like, they'll pay for their entire college education because their whole
College education isn't
They'll
the
pay for it.
problem. The problem is the 18 years before you go to college.
But there's people who go to college. Well, no, I run a memes page, so this is the best you're gonna get.
No, I just want. Well, with regards.
Of course, this guy runs a
with
meme
regards
page.
to that, I just want to say
Did you
that
say? Shut the fuck up.
I think that while it is very possible that you could go up to an expectant mother and give them some arguments that might convince them to stay away from an abortion clinic, I don't necessarily know if you're meaningfully changing any of the systemic problems that led them to that decision in the first place. I mean, that's a pretty emotionally heavy situation. There's a stereotype about Democrats being flippant with it. You know what I mean? In and out like a drive-through, but no, for everyone, it's a pretty serious thing. And if we really want to address this, I mean, look, no matter where you're at, we're all trending towards replacement level population birth anyhow. Every developed country is going to cycle back to around 2 to 2.3 kids per family, because that just seems to be the way developed countries factor in. And when we look at racial disparities in this country, I think that we need to look at them not as issues of personal responsibility or moral affront, but rather as evidence of centuries-old biases that we haven't meaningfully corrected for yet. We see this too with crime. Why do you think there is such a strong relationship between poverty and crime? It's not like poor folks just get born with a crime gene or whatever. There are conditions that you're born out into, and a lot of those correlate to not being able to properly take to a child after they're born. Like you pointed out, proper daycare, keeping them off the streets, that's a huge thing, especially in neighborhoods with a lot of bad influences. But all of this gets complicated with this moralistic lens, post hoc. It's well, why didn't you just have the kid, Well, that wouldn't have solved any of these issues, really. It would have solved the issue some folks have, but not the issue these families are having, which is that their communities are rotted out due to poor government planning, due to businesses leaving, due to white flight in some of the POC communities. And we can fix those problems, and we can do it in a way that's good for the market too.
So we only have about 5 minutes left, and I'd like to give each of you a minute or so to say anything that you feel has been left out of this conversation, or something you wanted to say to anybody as we wrap up.
A minute to just ramble about whatever we want?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Here's one thing. Everybody should do their own taxes for at least 2 years, because, oh my God, listening to anybody talk about tax or finance absolutely drives me crazy. I don't want to name any names, but I caught a little bit of the last panel here. The fact that poor people pay a tax rate is absolutely not true. Like, the bottom 50% of this country gets most of it back in terms of refunds or whatnot. So just as a quick thing, do your taxes for a little bit, learn how they work. The second thing I would say is, besides that point, advocate for things that are politically effective. We all have like our pet dream projects where, we want to see the country become, Bernie Sanders is the emperor, we're a socialist empire, or I don't even know what right-leaning people want right now. I have no idea. But like, whatever your idealistic fantasy is, that's a cool thing to have in the back of your head, but advocate for things that are realistic. Catlin said something that I actually completely disagree with earlier, that one person doesn't have that much of an influence. One person on a local level actually has a ton of influence, just not in the really sexy, cool federal ways that we want. If you're the guy that shows up every week or every month at your city council planning meeting, you will be heard. You can actually make a surprising amount of change if you're willing to exercise just a little bit of political power you have on the local level. Just don't always expect that AOC is going to tweet out a congratulations for it.
He did the fast part of Rap God there, in there somewhere.
My only rant is that I believe that taxation is theft. And and I'm not saying that as a joke. I actually believe that taxation is theft, and I believe that any government action for the good of humanity also requires force, and I think that things should be voluntary.
It's the cool kind
Shut
of
up,
theft,
Cherry.
like Robin Hood.
You're just a guy with
I
brown hair
completely
on
agree.
stage.
Getting involved
I
at
don't
a
know who
local
that
level
is.
is essential. When I was in university, there was an older woman who was very involved in care for the homeless. In Humboldt County in Northern California, the proportion of homeless people is obscene because they get bussed up there from other cities like LA that don't want to deal with them. And the police, they take down encampment after encampment after encampment. And this lady, I mean, she had a whole life outside of this too, but
600
she
viewers,
dedicated
good
enough
lord.
time to become the leading representative. I mean, everyone in the scene knew her. And that is the kind of direct civic
fun
engagement that's so
segments in
rare in
mind
this
after we
country. We're
watch
so
this.
isolated and so alienated from anything outside of the WrestleMania matches, whatever we see is trending on Twitter, anything that the social media feed bequeaths to us, that we forget. Next to us is our neighbor, a person, and outside their house, across another. And across the breadth of our neighborhood together are probably more people you've seen than you've seen gathered together since the start of the pandemic. There is incredible power in community. And while it's not exactly easy to just rile that up out of nowhere, go to a few local town hall meetings. Meet with some local orgs. They exist, and I swear to God, you'll feel way better doing that than you ever will paying attention to national politics with nothing but a once a 4-year vote to say for it.
Lonnie stole my weed, literally 1984.
So that actually wraps it up, and I'd like to thank you all for being wonderfully behaved audience. And I didn't know if you wanted to actually say it. I asked you, you're all set?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. So we spent a lot of time tonight complaining about how bad the media is and how that reflects how bad the general American public is.
Cherry.
I have added it probably as just a general problem with humanity. Right. So, and participating in this, I felt a bit bad because I felt like we have exemplified many of the things that we're complaining about. It's not just people in the outside world, it's people in this room. Just the level of passion here, I discourage it. This passion is way too high. Don't applaud. No. Yeah.
Cut to low energy professor.
So much of the problems of politics come down to people being so emotional, so passionate. Part of it is just being associated with a team, but also there's just a personal megalomania of I figured everything out and the world ought to listen to me. And yeah, I've got to control that. I do have that as well. Right. And now in all the ways that you can try to improve, as I was saying, the one that I think is most doable on the individual level is betting.
Shameless.
So when you hear people saying things that sound ridiculous, try to get them to bet you, right? In some identifiable, verifiable way. Yeah, you were saying that people have not paid you on your Trump bet. That's why, because you have to specify according to what the official certification process says. Yes. Yes. And here's the thing, not when you do this, you become better. You become better because you start before you speak, you think, do I really know that much about this? Am I really qualified? What research have I really done? Have I heard the other side? Do I want to go and say something that is going to make me lose a bet? Right? So it is not just a way of getting other people to be honest, although I have really used it and I feel very effectively, but it's also a way of making oneself honest and improving yourself and trying to actually deserve your sense that other people need to improve.
So we're actually entirely out of time. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not qualified. I'm just Joe Sixpack. But don't applaud for me. I'm a terrible moderator. He doesn't want you to applaud either. But Vaush and Destiny, thank you, everybody.
Is that it? Is that going to be all the juice? Or is there going to be more? Is there going to be more juice?
WrestleMania. Thank you for that great not SFL panel. I know we have another session coming up here in a couple of minutes. I'd like to encourage everyone to retain that level of respect and discussion that we talked about earlier today, even when our passions run high, as they do.
Okay, I think that's everything. Okay, we are going to go straight the fuck in to the Dave Chappelle Netflix special that's got everybody talking right now, okay? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and NBs. I never forget the NBs. We are just going straight the fuck in. Here we go. You guys ready? I'm taking off the headphones because I don't need volume for this segment. It's gonna be a good one. Everyone here for watching the debate, stick around. You're about to see some good political content. Let's fucking go, okay? Alrighty. Who is Dave Chappelle? He is a comedian, possibly one of the most well-known and famous comedians there is. And he's garnered a lot of respect for being one of the edgier comedians. His jokes are very edgy. He's gotten into a lot of drama for saying the N-word a lot, although he is black, so it's okay. But he uses it a lot in contexts that are perhaps a little bit offensive. And the butt of many of his jokes are meant to be offensive. That's a lot of his humor. Now, as you can imagine, our boy Dave Chappelle, his comedy hasn't exactly preserved itself well coming into this generation of cancel culture on Twitter. The same's happened to a lot of other very edgy comedians. And we've seen this new trend of these comedians who have their own Netflix special or their own, like, they're getting work, clearly. They're making money and everything. Going up on stage and complaining about people on Twitter being mean to them and how they can't make their jokes anymore and they're being censored. Meanwhile, they've got their own Netflix special. You know what I mean? We lefties have been making fun of that for a while now, right? Well, a couple days ago, Dave Chappelle, pictured here next to the Netflix logo, did a new special. And I watched it last night before bed. You didn't clear the dono goal yet? I'll get to that. I watched it before bed last night because I wanted to cover it today. And I thought maybe there were just going to be some out-of-touch boomer jokes in there, maybe something sort of in line with the type of jokes that Dave Chappelle makes, but maybe kind of iffy with the LGBT community. And of course, I knew of the clip where Dave Chappelle would say he's Team TERF, he stands with J.K. Rowling. I knew about that clip, but I thought that would be the worst of it. And oh, fuck, was it not? That was not the worst of it. I don't know why the clip of Dave Chappelle saying he's Team TERF and he stands with J.K. Rowling, I don't know why that trended more than the, I shit you not, like 10-minute long joke / story about how he ended up beating up a butch lesbian woman in a bar fight. I'm not kidding you. He goes on for about 10 to 15 minutes telling a long story about how he ended up beating up a lesbian woman in a bar fight after a show or after he was watching a show. Yeah, it was pretty yikesy. I suppose I'll just sort of give a cliff notes of some of the jokes that were made during the special, because I can't just play it. I'll get copyrighted, so I have to do my best to reiterate the things that he was saying to all of you without getting canceled, because it is pretty yikesy. Very yikesy, the kind of jokes he was making. Stuff that if I repeated word for word would have me expelled from every facet of the lefty circles, okay? So Dave Chappelle goes up there and he starts doing his normal routine. Like the first bit of it isn't really about LGBT people or any like minority group in particular, other than, you know, making fun of white people a little bit, which is par for the course with him. He does make fun of white people and, you know, it's okay. But then he starts to get into the LGBT stuff. And he starts to talk about Twitter cancel culture, and it goes on like that. If you've seen any clip of a comedian complaining about cancel culture, it was that, just rehashed in Dave Chappelle's style. And then it goes on into something a little spicier, the LGBT community. And he is like, oh, I don't have any hatred in my heart for the LGBT community. I don't care. I don't care about the, you know, as long as they're not hurting anybody. And yet continuously, he misgenders trans people. He makes jokes about how trans people are men. Trans women are men, apparently. You know, he goes on about that. And there was this one joke / story. You could never know if it's actually true. Regardless of whether or not it's true, it's still pretty fucked up to say. But here was a joke / story that he told about midway through the special. He talked about how he was, you know, this is after the Chappelle show ended, and he was doing a show at a nightclub or some bar. Like, it was not a very prestigious place. And he was up there making jokes, and a lot of them were about trans people. And there was this one trans woman in the audience who was laughing the loudest every time he would tell the jokes about trans people. The way that he described it made me think, so like, it was Gammy from Twitter, basically. This lady, just imagine this lady is Gammy from Twitter and just loves transphobic humor. And so this trans woman's like right at the front, clapping and laughing her ass off at every transphobic joke that Dave Chappelle is making at this bar like 20 years ago at this point. And she talks about how she's always wanted to be a comedian, and Dave Chappelle was her, you know, like her idol, and they became friends. and he got her on to make some jokes as an opener for one of his shows when he got a little bit bigger. And the story goes on, and eventually she started to get quite the following. But the trans community hated her because of the transphobic jokes she would make. And so then she kills herself, the trans woman comedian that Dave Chappelle befriended. Don't know if any of this is true or not. This all could be just a joke, that he made everything up. She kills herself, and then Dave Chappelle makes a joke about her, saying that, this is the quote, "That man was the hottest woman I ever saw in my life." Or no, it was like, "That man was the best woman I ever met in my life," I think was the quote. That's what he ends the story with. About the one trans friend that he made. And then tells the story about how she died, and then ends the story with that. And he goes on to say she would have loved that joke, and I have no doubt she probably would have. No, that story is true? Ah, well, Lonnie has confirmed it. That was the end of the story. So, to give you an idea, the nature of their relation is disputed, if I recall correctly. Oh, her family has spoken out in defense of Chappelle? Okay, then it seems like it's whatever, okay? It doesn't matter whether or not the story is true. He goes on to talk about J.K. Rowling and how she single-handedly wrote Harry Potter, and, the Harry Potter books are really successful, and she got canceled. And this is what he says. J.K. Rowling got canceled for, I'm not going to directly quote her because it wasn't exactly that, and then he goes on to lie about what she said. He goes on to say that all she did was say that gender is real. Or that sex is real, something like that. That's what he reiterates her point as. So he just lies about what she actually said in her letter, the letter she put out, talking about, oh God, don't autoplay a media share video, stop. I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you've done this. I can't believe you've done this. Barry, you're gonna have to cut all this out. I might actually ban Mr. Kraft for that. During this segment. It had to be great too. Jesus, fuck you. Like, genuinely, fuck you for that. That was super fucking rude. But thanks for the $10. All right, are we good? Are we good? Okay, Cherry, resume in 3, 2, 1. Anyway, he goes on for a while. He literally lies about what J.K. Rowling said in her little message, her like newsletter she put out, her TERF manifesto she made. He literally lies about what she said in that. And he ends it off, telling some more transphobic jokes, and then boom, it's over. But there was one part of the Chappelle special that really stood out to me, an argument that he made that really stood out to me, and that I really wanted to respond to. Because he talks about how he doesn't believe his jokes and his comedy are influencing people. He says, I believe the words he says is something like, people don't go to me to get their opinions. I just make jokes about shit. People come to me to laugh. And I was really surprised he said this because I'm not even a comedian. And he's the most well-known out there. And I know that's not true. People, comedy has evolved a lot, especially stand-up comedy over the years. Nowadays, stand-up comedy isn't just you go up on stage and you tell a bunch of jokes over and over again. At least that's not the best stand-up comedy. The best stand-up comedy usually follows a format of telling a story and delivering a message or a lesson for the audience to have learned from it, That's what I like. For example, George Carlin. My favorite comedian of all time is George Carlin. I love George Carlin. Most of his funniest sketches to me, or his funniest little, clips or whatever, his bits, are when he tells a story. Doesn't have to be a story about him or a thing that he's experienced, but just telling a story. That was always his best comedy and always had some kind of lesson, and he was quick to get politics involved as well. And since the days of George Carlin popularizing that, at least as far as I can tell, I'm no scholar of stand-up comedy by any means, but ever since that started to become the norm, I feel like people don't just go to comedians to hear funny jokes anymore, especially the kind of stand-up comedians that we're talking about here. I think they go there to hear the opinions that comedian has, have arguments made in their favor in a funny way. Because the jokes Dave Chappelle were making weren't just gay people dumb, ha ha. It was the jokes. The butt of every joke was that the LGBT community is wrong. That was the butt of every joke he was making, and the audience was clapping for it. And it's very clear that when he makes the joke that trans women are men, when he makes that joke and then says he sides with J.K. Rowling and he's on Team TERF, it's not just a joke. It's very obvious that's what he believes. And he's making an argument in favor of that ideology and that opinion, which is transphobic, in a funny way. And that audience is there, clapping along and cheering as he goes. So my response would be that nowadays, comedians aren't really seen as just these entertainers. They're also kind of seen as, in a way, educators and persuaders in a lot of cases. At the end of the day, this whole Dave Chappelle thing, I think the special is probably going to get taken off of Netflix, and this is one of those moments where it's like, if that does happen, that gives Dave Chappelle not exactly what he wants, but exactly what he needs to continue this narrative. If his show gets removed from Netflix, he can point to that as an example of the cancel culture mob trying to destroy him, and he can use it as a bit for his next thing. And as we go down the line in the future, people are going to start to, buy into the narrative of the cancel culture, destruction of everything we care about, narrative. And what worries me in particular is that I think this cancel culture narrative is going to lead almost like a repeat of 2015 into another explosion of right-wing populist fervor, like what happened with the anti-SJW community online. I think that the sort of anti-SJW community is going to evolve into surrounding their narrative around cancel culture, and it's going to get really popular in the mainstream, just like the anti-SJW shit did back in the day, and that may be what a future Republican candidate some years down the line ends up taking advantage of, much like Trump did, in order to get elected, or to have more populist fervor for their candidacy going around online. We'll see. We'll see. I really don't want there to be a Gamergate 2, but I don't know. I don't think it's impossible. Not at this point. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon if you haven't already over on YouTube, so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. We're also trying to hit 75k subs by the end of the year, so feel free to subscribe to help us get there. And of course, if you want to see more from me, you can go down into the description and follow my social media, including joining my fan Discord, where I watch movies with fans and we play games and stuff like that all the time, and there are sometimes people even come on to debate me. And if you want to support me financially, you can donate, subscribe, or gift subs to my website over on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, or through Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good one. Boom. I had to stop the recording for that segment. Nice. Wait, we have 569 viewers still? Wait, really? For real? We still got segments to do, too. I don't believe it. Yeah, 569 based. Nice. Also, my chat kind of bugged. My live chat here kind of bugged. It doesn't auto scroll anymore, which is a little bit of cringe. So crazy. ContraPoints definitely broke down the J.K. Rowling elements pretty in depth. Yeah, well, ContraPoints uploads very sparsely. It is almost like it's like going to a fancy restaurant when you only make like 30K a year. It's not really something you can afford to do all the time. Maybe you can do it once or twice a year. But when you go there, when you go to that fancy restaurant that is a brand new ContraPoints video, you are getting the best meal you've ever had. ContraPoints will break down that subject. She will attack whatever argument she wants to attack and make whatever argument she wants to make in probably the most perfect way you could possibly imagine, just because of how much work is going into these videos alone. But they don't come out often. I love ContraPoints' videos for that reason. Her takedown on cancel culture is probably the best there has been. Refresh if auto scroll broke. Chat, it fixes it. All right, someone type. Jesus, Mr. Krabs, you are really donating today. We're not actually at $543 today. I forgot to update the dono goal to 0 before I went live because Destiny and Vaush were up on stage pretty just out of nowhere. I was like, what? This is happening? I thought I missed it. I thought I missed the Vaush versus Destiny and Vaush. Okay. I'll go live right away then. No, it's not working. So I'm just gonna reopen it. Fuck it, dude. Anyway, yeah. So we got a couple more segments I want to do tonight. Couple of more segments I want to do tonight. And then we're gonna watch some media share videos due to the fact that Mr. Krabs has layered them on. And if we have time, if it's not too late, actually no, I don't think we're gonna do gaming tonight. Probably no gaming tonight because I think tonight we're gonna do a rewatch of part of the second half of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King Extended Edition because A-Pillow is finally available. And as I've said, I will watch the second half of Return of the King 30 times in a row, frankly. It just never gets old. The final half of Return of the King is just orgasmic all the way through. Cover the Ben Shapiro Hassan drama? Good idea. Let's do that. Actually, wait. I had a quartering video I wanted to do first. Let's do the quartering video first, okay? I'm going to count up donations, and then we're going to do the quartering video. Okay, all widgets. Tomorrow is Phasmo? Wait, it is? Wait, Cherry, is Phasmophobia scheduled for tomorrow? Wait, it can't be. Vaush isn't going to be home tomorrow, right? There's no way Vaush will be home tomorrow. He's on the other side of the country. Demon Mama said we'd get Rust memes at some point. Wait, Demon Mama wants to play Rust. Oh, so it's gonna be with us but without Vaush. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that'll work. Who can we bring in? I want to bring in maybe Hunter Avalon, or well, Hans definitely isn't gonna be joining that because Demon Mama. God damn it! I hate it. I fucking hate Breadtube. I hate it. Just stop getting into drama with each other, please. Please. Oh, God. Can my friends stop hating each other for 5 fucking minutes? Oh, no. Jeez. I'm gonna play with Demon Mama, Celine, and Denims. Okay, cool. Nice. And other femoids? Seems like he's pimping again. Hey, listen, Lil BBG, I'm always pimpin', okay? That's why they call me Big Pimpin'. The Hans v Demon Mama drama is very strange, or very cringe. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we should get Shark in. I don't feel like Shark's gonna get in any drama with anybody that I'm friends with and have that be an issue. Shark's probably one of the most chill people I've met, doing, like, left-wing YouTube, so I think he'll be, I don't think I have to worry about him in regards to getting involved with drama with people that I like and having that issue, you know? Okay. Whew. Mothra J, thank you for the $2. I appreciate that, homie. Mr. Krabs, thank you for the $10. Nixie, thank you for the tier 3 sub. I really appreciate that. That was, yeah, very kind of you. Thank you. How much is a tier 3 sub again? I forget. A 1 month tier 3 sub is like... $20. Okay. Thank you for the $20, Nixie. I really appreciate that. LR Sofin, thank you for the tier 1 sub. It's $5. Thank you. And Midnight Kitty Boy, thank you for the 4 tier 1 gifted subs. It's an extra 20. Thank you. Says 1 month, nice libertarian panel, plus turfs are trash. True. Thank you, Midnight Kitty Boy. Thank you. I appreciate that. So that's 57, and then as for the media shares, okay. Mr. Krabs, thank you for the $10. A lot of these are going to be from Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs, thank you for the $40. Jesus Christ, thank you. Mr. Krabs, thank you for the $20. You've sent a lot of Sonic, haven't you? Mr. Krabs, thank you for the $50. Oh, the $50 one is actually a bopper. I put that song on my playlist. The Instruments of Cyanide song, the Bendy song, I put that on my playlist. That song fucking slaps. I'm happy you donated that one, Mr. Krabs. That was a fucking good one. All right, wow, we're at $197 today. Jeez. Here, let's make the goal 300 then, if you just almost already reached it. Sheesh. Boom. There we go. I'm gonna try to finish season 1 of Amphibia, chat. Love y'all. I've heard of that Amphibia show. Is that the one with the frogs? Jesus, 450 people still watching? Well, hello everybody. Make sure to subscribe and like the stream. Like the stream, subscribe, follow, wherever you're watching from. Make sure to do those things, okay? We're trying to hit 75k subs by the end of the At 300, I'll show
no,
Doggo.
200, because your goal is 200. You can show the cat at 300 or whatever, but show Doggo when you get $300.
Okay.
That's fair.
We're at 197.
I know, so when you get $300, let me know. I'll bring you Doggo.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I'll show my dog if we hit $200, okay? I'll show my dog. But first, it's segment time, okay? Oh, yeah, the debate I did yesterday got hate rated by Groypers, so go watch that as well and leave a like to help combat the Groypers giving my video more views and engagement in the algorithm. It's all about the dosh, baby. All about the dosh. Champagne socialist incoming. Sir, when will we be finishing Telltale's The Walking Dead? Before the end of the month, Rico Redblood. Wait, I just realized how delayed my stream was now. Yeah, YouTube won't let me turn it on to ultra low latency. I'm stuck with a 5-second latency instead of like a 2-second one right now. So that's kind of cringe. Anyway, it's time. Segment time. Okay, so... oh, this is so good. Okay, you know how the Quartering and the other, like, neckbeard grifter types like him like to say that new movies that are coming out are going to go woke and they're going to go broke and they're going to do badly and so on, right? Well, someone linked this one in my Discord, and it's a video by the Quartering. Of course, it's always the Quartering. And it came out on September 27th, so a little bit before the movie came out. And now the movie has come out. and we know what actually happens in the movie. And The Quartering made a video called Venom Will Come Out in Venom Let There Be Carnage. The come out implying coming out as gay. So let's find out why The Quartering made this video, and let's find out why, I mean, obviously those that have seen Venom know that Venom does not come out as gay in that movie. Venom Let There Be Carnage, the new one that just came out, I mean, is the one we're discussing. Of course, you already know that doesn't happen. However, let's see The Quartering's reasoning for this and find out how hilariously wrong he was.
Hey there, good looking. I've been suppressing my urge to have sex with other men my entire life. I get a little tingle every time I think about skewering another man with my giant venomous dick. But I've grown tired of hiding from the world.
This is a good intro.
Today's the day that I've finally come out of the closet.
What the hell are you?
We are horny.
Okay, now they're making it cringe.
I don't know.
The intro was so funny at the start, like it was actually pretty funny, and then he has to do like the little Venom logo with the LGBT flag in it and everything. Did he change up his background? Why has he got a bunch of planets and space shit now? And pumpkins. I mean, the pumpkins make sense, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm starting to wonder if this like fake woke baiting is a new way for movies to get press. I've talked about at length before that, you know, I am a big fan of Venom, you know, Venom, Spider-Man, Carnage, all these I grew up with in the fighting games too.
Oh, I forgot. This guy just rambles all day. We're gonna have to turn him up to like 1.25. I'm sorry, guys.
Cool.
He just rambles.
Just really, really love the characters. And now in the sequel, Venom Let There Be Carnage, the director has decided to queer bait, essentially, saying that Venom's coming out and love affair between Eddie and the alien symbiote in Let There Be Carnage. The film director is now pointing to a scene that is sort of an LGBTQIA kind of festival. As a moment, Venom has his being out moment. This is very dangerous queer baiting, I would argue, because if it is what I think it is, and it's treated as kind of a joke, or if they treat it like a joke, it's not going to go over well. And I just don't know why these movies can't stand on their own, you know, be good on their own merits. But here we are. Andy Serkis says a particular scene in Venom.
All right, I'm gonna spoil what actually happens, and the only reason I know what actually happens is because I looked it up and did my research a little bit before stream to know what actually happens in the movie and what they're referring to. Basically, for those that don't know what Venom is an alien symbiote. It's sort of like a parasite that latches onto you, and it has its own personality. It can speak. It gives you, superpowers, and you have to be like a compatible host to even survive the symbiote being on you for too long. And essentially, Eddie Brock, the main character, gets parasitized by Venom. And Venom and him have like back and forth. They yell at each other. They argue. They have, shit goes down. And in Venom Let There Be Carnage, spoiler alert, they have a falling out. And Carnage leaves him and goes to another body and takes a new host. And, Eddie and Venom are like separated and they're pissed off at each other. But they end up, apparently getting back and forgiving each other in the end and reuniting and yada, yada, yada. And I guess Andy Serkis talked about that in a Hollywood Reporter article, and The Quartering and the reactionaries interpreted that as being Venom will be coming out as gay in the movie Venom Let There Be Carnage, which is, of course, fucking ridiculous.
Venom Let There Be Carnage is a coming out party for the alien symbiote whose relationship with Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock is at the center of the movie. In a recent interview with Uproxx, the Venom sequel director spoke about the film's rave scene, which he shared had originally been set in the carnival but evolved thanks to stars Hardy's relationship with rapper Little Sims, who also appears in the movie. She actually had made a song, unbeknownst to her, called Venom that connected very much with the first movie. And so Tom got in touch with her and said the song kind of became the focus. When the director shared that Hardy and co-writer Kelly Marcel had wanted the scene to be a coming out event, well, Tom and Kelly were always about Venom coming out and going to a party that was very sort of an LGBTQIA festival. Really, I'd call it. And his coming out party, basically. This is Venom's coming out party.
If you're wondering why they call it Venom's coming out party in their quotes, it's because in the Marvel universe, most characters, Marvel doesn't really do what DC does and have a lot of the characters have secret identities, and they have they hide who they really are, right? They Superman, Batman, they don't tell anybody what their identities are, etc. They don't really do that in the Marvel universe. A lot of characters are just totally fine with their identities being public, except for, and this is pretty unique to Spider-Man. Spider-Man doesn't want his identity to be public, and that's like his thing. Look at his face, chat. My face or his face? Yeah, he looks terrified. Look at him. He looks like he's a deer who's just crossing the road and sees headlights coming at it. Look at him. That's the actual deer. That's the face every deer makes before it gets hit by a car. I'm not kidding. That is the face every deer makes a fraction of a second before they get hit by a car. Someone clip that. That needs to be an emote. That face needs to be an emote. The quivering, because he looks terrified. If you can get that face, he's got a good background to cut out too. He's behind like a very differently colored background. Someone who's good at Photoshop could easily clip that and make his face into an emote, and we can call it the quivering, or just quivering will be the name of the emote. Quiver, because people call him the quivering. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Eddie Brock doesn't want people to know he's got a alien parasite living inside of him, so Venom kind of has to be a secret, and the idea was that, Venom would be revealing himself to the world, because in most of the Marvel universe, most superheroes, their identities are public. Everyone knows Captain America is Steve Rogers, everyone knows that Tony Stark is Iron Man, so on and so on, right? So yeah, that's the meme that they're going for, and they're doing it in a very cringy, kind of lib way, I guess you could say, but let's just watch the quartering.
This is another perfect example of, Hollywood just being just the worst. Look, two men can have a deep affection for each other, love each other, be friends, be family, without also sleeping together. This is a thing that Hollywood is completely unable to do. Also with two female characters. When two female characters are strong, they must be sleeping together. And if they're not, then the internet literally gets mad about it. I'm not kidding. This shipping culture is why you get a lot of this. Now, what's it actually going to look like?
Okay, I admit, shipping culture is very cringy. I'm not going to lie. All right, I did it when I was a kid, when I watched shows that... particularly Adventure Time, I was around 11 or 12 at that time, and I was just getting into DeviantArt and stuff like that. I never made anything on it really, except for maybe a few little doodles that aren't even worth anything in regards to looking at. I was getting into DeviantArt, and I was really into Adventure Time. I was 11 or 12, and I would look at shipping drawings on that. But looking back in hindsight, God, shipping culture really is cringe. That's the one thing I'll give. I'll give them that. Shipping culture is cringe, but at the end of the day, I don't like how these people like to treat teenagers on the internet shipping fictional characters as being harmful. It's come on, really? This is what's harming us right now? This is what's harming society?
In the movie, I don't know, but the fact that we're seeing this now is just can't we have something with just be a good movie without having to have all this? Oh, but Venom's cool, but he's also gay. When Asa confirmed if what he was implying was that Venom was not a straight.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about getting a little black background, sort of a fuzzy, transparent, light black or gray background here. that would sort of like fizzle out along the edges for the chat as a background.
Alien symbiote, as was actually coming out, he responds, well, coming out, being out, before acknowledging that a line from the character points him to speaking for the other. What is interesting is that just like he says in the movie, we must stop this cruel treatment of aliens, he says. You know, we all live on this ball of rock, you know, and so inadvertently becomes kind of he's speaking for the other. He's speaking for the freedom of the other. The end of the interview, which features him speaking on the other Venom-related things, like star and friend Woody Harrelson's involvement in the character Carnage's impact on the film's coloring, Serkis responds to the statement by saying, it's very obvious that Eddie and Venom are in love, by calling the relationship the movie's central love affair. Absolutely, they do love each other, and that's kind of at the center of the movie. It's a love affair, the central love affair.
I don't like when movies like this try to do that, but it's pretty clear what they're talking about here is the relationship between a human guy and the alien that literally lives inside of him. You know what I mean? Like, if you've gotten to the point where you're willing to accept this disgusting ooze alien that lives up your ass, basically, he kind of does. Where else does he come from? I'm pretty sure Venom like lives in his anal cavity, you know, and then you know, expands to envelop him. They're literally living in the same body. There's sort of like not a relationship in the way that we would normally consider a relationship to be a thing, but there's something going on there, you know. I guess that's what they're getting at in this article, but they really seem like they were trying to make it be like, yeah, it's kind of an allegory for LGBT stuff. And it's like, oh, I guess, but it's a little on the nose, right? You know? But obviously, now that we've heard what he believes is going on here, we can scroll down and see. I saw it yesterday. There was no gay stuff. Venom's coming out was him being seen in public and not hiding from people following a spat he had with Eddie and went off on his own. People thought he was wearing a costume and were cheering him on, and he felt accepted. The end. And then people are like, oh, that's not bad then. Glad to hear that. I'd pin this comment at the top and disable all the others if I could. And then there's some people from like a week ago before the movie came out or whatever, before they'd seen it, saying, can we just get some directors who actually read the comics just one time? I just love the fact that like the Quartering will make a video like this and he'll be like, he'll be ready, he'll put it out and he'll be like, this movie's going woke. It's going to destroy this movie. And then like a week later, he's wrong. Like the Shang-Chi thing is probably the biggest L he's taken in a while. What other L? I mean, I'm trying to think. He took an L on Captain Marvel. He took an L on Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, I believe. He's taken an L on Shang-Chi. I wouldn't be surprised if he shit-talked WandaVision. He probably took an L on that. I bet he took multiple L's on WandaVision when those came out. A lot of Marvel stuff. I imagine he complained about Black Panther. If he did, then that was an L too. He does this. No bullshit. The Quartering, or not the Quartering, Geeks and Gamers. They both have the same name. They always complain about this like popular thing having any wokeness in it, how it's gonna go broke, and then it comes out, they're wrong. They never acknowledge it again. She-Ra, that was a big L, and then it just goes down the, you know, they just forget about it, and their fans forget about it too, and they never like have their fans calling them out like, hey, you were super wrong about this. Yeah. Joy Drillkill, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Over on Twitch. Anyway, I think it's hilarious that the Quartering made this video and was all like, this movie's gonna be ruined by the woke agenda. And then it turned out that none of what he said was going to happen actually happened, which is just perfectly in line with the Quartering's journalistic integrity. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and join my fan Discord where you can hang out with me, watch movies with me. I game with people and stuff like that, and I even bring people on for debates if they want to argue with me. And of course, finally, you can donate, gift a sub, or just support me financially in any way over on my website, xanderhall.com/live, YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, or even through Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one. Yeet yeet. All right. What are we talking about next? It was the Ben Shapiro thing, right? Oh, wait, not the Ben Shapiro thing. I don't want to cover that. Because then I have to argue... Remember when the Quartering quote tweeted Xander Hall because he was mad Xan made videos on him? Yeah, well, do you guys remember when the Quartering pussied out of a debate with me? Like, and he was one of my first debates. It was like my third or fourth debate that I'd ever done. And he was by far the largest person I'd ever debated. And he pussied out. Hassan and Ben Shapiro? Alright. It's spicy. I just hate that I'm gonna have to, like, defend Hassan.
That is a truism.
Alright. I can't believe it. I can't believe Ben Shapiro's about to have me out here defending Hassan Piker. I cannot believe it. Hassan is a big boy and can defend himself, but unfortunately... while there are criticisms of left-wing people who advocate for the redistribution of wealth, holding on to their wealth, while there is plenty of criticisms for that kind of thing, we're not going to hear any of the salient or logical ones from Ben Shapiro, of all people, so I think it's probably worth responding to this. I can't believe it. Oh. I gotta show the dog. It's already recording. After this segment, I'll show the dog. All right. I'll show the dog in a moment, okay? You guys will see my dog.
That is a truism of politics, that hypocrisy is always newsworthy. Hypocrisy is always newsworthy. If somebody is a religious Christian and then they have an affair, this is a newsworthy event, according to the media. If there's a politician who's right-wing, that politician turns out to be gay. Really, really newsworthy, according to the media. But there's one area of hypocrisy that is just not newsworthy to the media. Like, truly not newsworthy. And that, of course, is if you are a socialist who's extremely wealthy and gives very little charity. If you are that person, then hypocrisy just doesn't play a part.
Okay, Hassan does give money to charity, and he's given quite a bit. The problem is, I don't think he gives nearly as much as he could totally afford to. Like, if I were in Hassan's situation, I would be doing a monthly charity stream, possibly even a bi-monthly charity stream. The guy makes over 700K or whatever in 1 month. He can absolutely afford to do a charity stream one day out of the month, and he would raise a fuck ton for charity, and it would be very, very little going out of his pocket in any way. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm totally on board with that idea. But Hassan doesn't give very little to charity. He that's just not true. That's part of what. Also, look at Ben Shapiro's face. He looks like he looks like he's nutting. This looks like he's coming. Ben Shapiro looks like he's coming here. This is the face he makes when he comes. That's what we're seeing right now. He's thinking of Hassan and he's shooting off a little load in his pants right now.
Hypocrisy is never a problem because, after all, you're calling for societal change. You yourself don't have to abide by any of those rules because some animals are more equal than other animals. But the socialist has the benefit of the bargain because you get to be as socialist as you want to, like Bernie Sanders, and then you get to have a lake house. You get to be a millionaire while proclaiming that billionaires are paying the flesh up. Okay, so this issue has become relevant over the course of the past couple of days because a guy named Hassan Piker, who I believe used to be a Young Turks guy, I don't really know that much about him, he apparently is a socialist Twitch streamer. There's a big article, big glowing profile about him in New York Magazine titled Streaming with Hassan Piker, the AOC of Twitch. I'm a political commentator with, like, stands. Okay, well, in the past few months, Hassan Piker, it turns out, has been revealed to be a very wealthy person, which is good for him. He has a lot of folks who are following him over at Twitch. That is his prerogative, and I'm glad for him that he's been able to build a following. But a couple of times in the last month, it's been revealed that this out-and-out socialist, I mean, this is what he calls himself, that he is a very wealthy man. Quote, Hassan Piker was in a rage. A million tabs were pinched together like sardines at the top of his browser. His jittery cursor bounced between them, summoning network news, Chiron's YouTube rants, viral tweets, and TikTok memes. The day's trending topic? Piker, who is 30, had purchased a $2.7 million house in West Hollywood. An ordinary Twitch streamer's housing wouldn't make headlines, but over the past 5 years, Piker has become one of the most prominent socialist pundits.
It really is true. You know, have you... I'm really curious, because this is where you'd have to call out hypocrisy, okay? This is the only way you could call Hassan Piker a hypocrite for being rich. That would be if you found instances of Hassan Piker criticizing Twitch streamers at some point in his past who make a lot of money. I never hear socialists, at least not the ones that Hassan would ever agree with. Like, I never hear actual, not crazy, non-tanky, like the type of people that Hassan would ever, like, involve himself with, saying that streamers are part of the group that we need to, like, are part of the rich that they need to eat or whatever, or that needs to be gulagged or whatever, right? Like, you never hear these people complaining about streamers, and the reason for that is streaming's probably one of the least exploitative jobs out there. Don't get me wrong, there's shit that goes down, obviously, like giveaways or certain sponsorships in a way that is manipulation or that is exploitation of your audience, right? But for the most part, most streamers who like are just sitting there and they're reacting to videos or they're, you know, playing a game and they get donations from their audience, it's not really like the same as Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. You know, we're not really talking the same tier here. Now, I admit very rich streamers do have the benefit of not having to worry about bills. Like that's just the farthest worry from their mind at that point. If you're like a wealthy streamer, unless you're really bad with money. And that's something that most working class Americans don't have the privilege of having on their side. You know, if you're working class, chances are you do have to worry about the bills. That is like your front and foremost worry in the back of your mind. And if you're a really popular, wealthy streamer and you're making like a couple hundred a year even, that's probably not really a worry for you. It's really not that much of a worry for you. But you never see someone like Hassan or Hassan himself calling out those streamers. It's always like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and whatnot, like really, really rich people. It's always what you see socialists actually calling out, besides like crazy psychopaths on Twitter.
It's in America. The controversy about the purchase had made it to Fox News and Breitbart, and Piker was prepared to take on the interlopers who logged on to see the fireworks. Quote, "The only reason my house is expensive is because of the area I live in," he growled. "Are you guys really that stupid?"
No doubt, it being in West Hollywood added an extra $1 million on top of what that house would have cost. But that house is very nice, okay? It's very nice. It would have probably cost, like, were it not in WeHo and it was somewhere, like, cheaper, that house, if you plopped that house down in my neighborhood that I lived in back in Florida, that house would still go for about 500 to 600, maybe more, thousand. Like maybe up to 800,000, maybe $1 million. That is a very nice house. I didn't like when Hassan said that it wasn't that nice of a house. It was just the area. That was like, come on, dude. No, that's a nice fucking house.
That's not even a response to the charge. The charge is that for a socialist, you seem to be spending large, my friend. It doesn't, like, you could have, there are a lot of places that are not in West Hollywood that don't cost $2.7 million. They're all over the United States. You can get yourself a tiny little shack and live yourself the Henry David Thoreau lifestyle for probably 30 grand somewhere.
All right. Now, the reason why socialists like to call out billionaires, at least from what I can tell, is because billionaires and millionaires that are, you know, owners of some kind of capital, not like just, oh, I made all my millions through the stock market or through TikTok or yada, yada, yada. You never really see, you know, like your 1 or 2 millionaires even getting criticized by socialists. It's usually pointing at the like top of the 1%. Look at what capitalism enables. Look just how wealthy someone can be. So wealthy that they have more money in their own assets than the wealth of third world nations. Look how broken capitalism is, that you can have people who are just hoarding money as a contest at this point. You know, it's like, I want to be on top. It's almost just trying to outdo each other. They've got more money than they could ever need. Than thousands of generations below them could ever need. And yet there are people out there who can't even eat every day, or who don't have a home, or who just have money problems in general. People who live in countries that the exploits of these capitalist nations and industries are destroying through climate change. A lot of third world countries are being harmed by climate change. It's making their problems there, especially when it comes to poverty and famines and droughts, even worse. That is typically the core of the general leftist criticism of those that are wealthy and who hoard their wealth. And Hassan, and just Twitch streamers in general, don't really fall into that category of people.
$2.7 million bucks, a lot of money. I don't see you handing that out to all of the immiserated workers in the Marxist social construct.
Thanks, Kousnick.
Right, that's the charge. And his response is, well, of course
Cousin
it's expensive around here. This is West Hollywood, which of course is not a response. Piker said 3 weeks later, quote, as long as you don't defang your core values, as long as you're still speaking truth to power, then F them. Yeah, speaking truth to power is being the guy who buys the $3 million house and does interviews with New York Magazine and then jabbers about how the rich don't pay their fair share. He says, I don't give a bleep. I'm doing this in the least exploitative way you functionally effing can. Really? He says, it's my labor. I'm the one who's streaming for 10 hours. Welcome to capitalism, my dude. It's my labor.
What?
Yes, whose labor? So.
Okay. Capitalism is not all about the workers getting what they work for, okay? That's not what, like, the core of capitalism is all about. Capitalism is about supply and demand. Capitalism is about private ownership. Capitalism doesn't really seem to prioritize the low-level workers making money. That's not generally where capitalism leads. The whole idea behind Marxist thought, though, is around the workers owning the means of production and getting their fair share. That's literally the whole aesthetic of socialism, right? Even somebody who isn't a socialist can acknowledge that. That's the whole aesthetic even of socialism, not even just like the deep, fundamental theory-based ideas of it, but like the aesthetic of socialism is the workers taking what is theirs, like taking what they're owed. And the point that Hassan is making is that I'm just sitting here making content for people, and those people can voluntarily give me money to keep me doing what I'm doing because they enjoy my content. Nothing forces them to pay him. Nobody is forcing them to pay him. The only way that he extracts money from them, and in a way that you could argue is exploitative, is when he plays an ad and people watch that. If you want to talk about the behavior with his editors, though, I don't remember much of that drama, but it did sound pretty fucked up. I didn't like that. I don't remember the editor drama, but I somewhat recall feeling like Hassan was in the wrong. Wait, what the fuck? What is this person talking about? Did you really run away from the some Groiper guy at a politically provoked debate? Why are you making us look this badly? Run away? I left when everybody else left. How did I run away from the debate? I debated him until the show was over. What are you talking about? I'm banning that person. Go watch the video, dumb fuck.
In other words, you bet on yourself, you've done really well, and you believe that you deserve to keep the proceeds of that labor. But aren't you exploiting all the people who are engaged in commerce with you? After all, what service of value are you providing them? You are Twitch streaming video games. Is that a vital social service? What makes that service significantly more important, socially speaking, from a Marxist perspective?
Wait, your job's not important as a social service. Why do you deserve to make money? See, hypocritical. That's anti-socialism.
And the guy who picks up the garbage, why doesn't he own a $2.7 million home in West Hollywood? According to New York Magazine, Piker is a Twitch streamer who spends every day in front of a camera speaking to his 1.5 million followers. But unlike most of the platform's top users, Piker mostly talks politics. He trawls through Twitter and roasts bad takes from career right-wing correspondents like Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson. He breaks down hawkish New York Times op-eds line by line, steadily working himself into a frothy fury. It's free associative and open-ended. I have an accelerated version of brainworms, he says. I'm literally always online. I'm consuming media non-stop. Tune into a Piker stream, watch him condemn the civilian death toll in Afghanistan. An hour later, he may move on to revisiting his favorite WWE feuds. Fans don't need to have studied Marx to understand where Piker is coming from. Well, they might have to read Marx to understand why Piker is violating core tenets of Marxism. He looms over his streaming rig at 6'4", broad-shouldered in a silver bracelet and paint-speckled cowboy bebop shirt, gnashing a cud of nicotine gum against his molars. On election night, from the same room, he hosted nearly 230,000 concurrent viewers, making him the 6th most-watched election livestream across the internet. A month prior, he broadcast playing the video game Among Us with Representatives AOC and Ilhan Omar.
So, you can hear in his voice, can you hear how angry Ben Shapiro is? He sounds fucking furious. He sounds so mad. You can hear it in his voice. And you know what the reason for that is? You want to know why I think Ben Shapiro sounds so angry right now? I think it's because Hassan is a master at bringing in the Zoomers to the left. Like, say what you want. At this point, I would argue Hassan alone does more to bring, like, edgy Zoomers to the left than me, Destiny, and Vaush combined. Hassan is up there as one of the largest streamers on Twitch, period. He's buddies with Trainwrecks and XQC and all those huge fucking Twitch guys. And unfortunately, yes, he is probably the most prominent left-leaning voice in this entire sphere of the internet. Whether you like him or not, this is just an arguable fact. He is the largest left-wing voice in this area of the internet, Twitch, YouTube, etc., right? And he's very, very good at attracting the Zoomers. He's really, really good at it. And that was part of Ben Shapiro's appeal. His appeal was to the edgy Logic Bro Zoomers who would, like, come to watch him because he talks fast and he sounds like he makes good arguments. And that's how he would pull people over to the right. And in a way, Ben Shapiro recognizes that Hassan and him are competition. They're competing over the same demographic over different political opinions. And Ben Shapiro recognizes Hassan as competition, and Hassan, I would argue, is probably winning. Hassan frequently has like 35,000 viewers. This video has 174,000 views, but this is over, you know, the course of a few days. Hassan will have a consistent 35,000 viewers, and that's people constantly coming in and out. That's the thing you have to remember about concurrent viewership. Like right now, I have 360 viewers, but you know, most of the people that are in that 360 are probably not the same people who were here even 10 minutes ago. People leave and come in, and your viewership tends to, like, stay around the same area. And the more entertaining you are, whatever's going on, the more interesting it is. People stick around longer, and that's how your viewership rises. So I'd argue that Hassan's probably getting more attention on his streams, especially with how long he streams, than Ben Shapiro even does.
Okay, and then later in this little SOP piece, he talks about the tax the rich dress that AOC wore. And here's what he said, quote, "I think the Met Gala is a disgusting, gluttonous exercise. And if given the opportunity to go, I'd do it in an effing heartbeat. I'm sorry, everyone would. Why wouldn't you want to hang out with Frank Ocean? They're not going to the effing Davos summit." Well, but yes, they are. What do you think the Met Gala is? It is a bunch of rich liberals who are getting together to feat themselves for their rich liberalism. Again,
that is true.
The media are not interested in calling out hypocrisy. The reason I say that is because this story was now updated. Okay, so there was a Twitch data leak.
So let me give you an example of actual hypocrisy on the part of Ben Shapiro. Let me give you an example of Ben Shapiro actually being hypocritical, and this is undeniable. This is actually an example of almost every right-wing creator online being inconsistent and hypocritical. So Ben Shapiro rails against Silicon Valley and rails against, like, big tech such as YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and all of that for, punishing conservatives, and talks about how they're bad and they're evil and yada, yada, yada. And yet he still uses all of those platforms to upload his content. When people watch his videos and those videos are monetized, that money goes to YouTube. He's being a complete hypocrite. He will at one moment say that these platforms are awful and we ought to hate them, while he still uploads his content there, benefits from being on those platforms, and gives those platforms money in the form of their cut of the ad revenue from people watching his videos. He is a complete hypocrite on that front. However, it's not because he doesn't believe what he's saying. It's because where the fuck else would he upload his content? YouTube's the biggest video sharing platform in the world. It's impractical to do what he does and not upload his content to YouTube. Just like it is impractical to be a politician and to get your message out there and to be invited to the Met Gala and not go to the Met Gala and wear a dress that sends the message that you stand for out there, tax the rich, in the case of AOC, who he's criticizing now and trying to call a hypocrite. Like, yeah, people are willing to compromise on their ideals in the long run if it helps them achieve those ideals in the future. She may not like rich liberals. That doesn't mean AOC shouldn't go to Met Gala and spread her message at a very televised event.
Here's how it's reported from the New York Times. Twitch The live video site Popular with Gamers said on Wednesday it had endured a data breach that security researchers believe may have provided sweeping insight into the platform's computer code security vulnerabilities and payments to its content creators. Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, confirmed it had been breached hours after a user posted what the user claimed was an enormous trove of Twitch data onto the anonymous message board website 4chan. The user said the file contained, among
Oh, and the thing that I pointed out, in a way, to a degree, is also a criticism of Hassan. Hassan criticizes Amazon quite a bit, and yet he streams on Twitch and makes Amazon a lot of money, and Amazon makes him a lot of money because they platform his content and they're the ones who pay him his ad revenue and his stream revenue and everything. Amazon pays Hassan a lot, and Hassan makes a lot of money for Amazon, and that is, to a degree, somewhat hypocritical, but Hassan would probably accept that and be like, yes, it is somewhat hypocritical, but where else am I going to do my stuff? YouTube's just as corporately owned as Twitch. There's nowhere else to go.
other items, the history of Twitch's source code, proprietary software development kits, an unreleased competitor to Steam and online game store, and programs, and a list of
Transformer, the debate is over.
the amount of money that each of the site's streamers has earned since 2019. Find out how much your favorite streamer is really making, the user posted. Jeff Bezos paid $970 million for this. We're giving it away for free. Again, we're going through this New York Times piece about Twitch. Buried way down in this article, is this little revelation. Quote, according to the list of earnings, which could not be independently verified, some notable personalities had made millions of dollars since 2019. One streamer, Hassan Piker, anticipated people getting angry about the amount of money the list said he had made. Just woke up to some fun news, he tweeted. Can't wait for people to be mad at me about my publicly available sub counts again. And then he trended. He said, bro, come on.
Oh yeah, and to be fair, Hassan, out of all the streamers and content creators that I watch, is probably one of the most open about his income besides me. I'm extremely open about my income. Remember when I did my taxes on stream, then drank too much wine and threw up, but we don't talk about that, okay? I played a little bit, I got too drunk and I started playing Rust. It was too much for me and I might have all over the floor a little bit. But I did my taxes on stream. I like when content creators, especially left-wing, like, political content creators, are open about how much money they make. I appreciate that a lot. This is a good meme, Lil. I'm sorry. What is this? Imagine, though. I wish this was real. Just imagine. Just fucking imagine, dude. Here it is. Okay. Imagine.
Okay, so it never says in here what exactly Hassan Piker made. Okay, now, let's just put it this way. It makes headlines every time a conservative signs a contract. Okay, if the IRS information of conservative commentators were leaked, you think that wouldn't be front page news? It would absolutely be front page news. And it wouldn't be about the leak or how the leak came about. What it would be about was the amount of money that everybody was making. How do we know this? Because the front page of every major newspaper this week was...
Oh, yes, Ben Shapiro. Nobody's talking about how much money those streamers were making when it got leaked. Yeah, guys, you guys were on Twitter, right? Not a soul was talking about Hassan's leaked income. Not a soul on Twitter. Not a single... It was like a ghost town. Everyone was criticizing, however, that data from Twitch leaked. Nobody was talking about how much those streamers' incomes were when they got leaked. Not a soul. No one was talking about it. It wasn't getting any attention. It wasn't on the front page of anything. No one was talking about it. You're absolutely right, Ben. Of course that's wrong. Literally everyone was talking about it. Twitter fucking exploded. Twitter exploded when that document leaked with all those streamer incomes. Twitter fucking exploded.
It's about what international figures made via IRS documents that were leaked. Right? And other sort of financial documents that were leaked. It was the content. It was the story. So what exactly did these leaked documents show? It showed that Hassan apparently rakes in about $3 million a year by doing his Twitch streaming, which is a lot of money. It's a lot more money than your average day-to-day Marxist lower class worker, right? The social class of people who are doing.
I was thinking Hassan made closer to $12 million a year. If he's making, last month he made $700K, didn't he? Somewhere around there. Like, you'd think he'd be making more if he made something like that in a month. I don't know the exact number, and I'm not going to say the exact number because then I might get in trouble. I don't know. But it was like pretty high. Like, you'd think that he'd be making more than $3 million a month, right?
Doing the actual labor that is being exploited. Why isn't that the headline? The reason that isn't the headline is because socialists are never held to their own standards. They are never held to their own standards. See, here's the thing about socialism. Really? If you actually held to your standard, then you would presumably be very concerned with giving away a lot of your money to charity or ensuring that the amount of money that you made for your socially useless service, according to Marxist theory, because of course your labor should be judged by some outside metric that is not the market. So somebody's going to have to explain.
Bro, I don't read theory, okay? I don't even read theory all that much, but I've read enough that I know that both. So I've read Bakunin and I've read Marx. I've read the Communist Manifesto and I've read The Conquest of Bread. Really basic shit. I don't like to read, but it's what I've read so far. Okay. And in both those bits of literature, they talk about the value for entertainment and art and what's the word? There was a word used for it. Non-utilitarian work. Work that's not necessarily necessary for society, but stuff like art and whatnot, entertainment being completely valid as a career. And you're even allowed to own your own stuff. Literally, I believe a quote, and this is anarchist theory even, I believe there was a quote in The Conquest of Bread, which was written by Bakunin, if I remember correctly. There was literally a quote that said that you are entitled to ownership of the clothes in your back, the bed you sleep in, the hammer and the anvil that you build whatever you build with, whatever you produce your thing with or whatever. You're allowed to own things and have stuff under a socialist or even an anarcho-communist perspective, where people believe that anarcho-communism, you can't own anything. But even the top theorists on this, in the past, historically, say, yeah, of course you own your bed and your house and the thing and your hammer and your anvil and your clothes. Of course you own those things. Of course you're allowed to own things,
Explain, by Marxist theory, why exactly it is more valuable for a guy to sit around and stream video games than it is for somebody to clean toilets. I can explain it because market says that's what it's worth. Things are worth what people say they are worth. But I'm not sure how, from a Marxist perspective, you can...
Wait, Ben, you realize that your political opinions don't form a bubble around you where the world, contorts to your ideal world when you're in it, right? You know that Hassan knows he lives in a capitalist society where streaming and creating content can make you money, right? He's aware of that. God, Ben Shapiro's eyebrows are really wild. I've always thought I had wild eyebrows, very thick and hard to deal with. If I do this, my eyebrows get a little weird, okay? They get a little fuzzy. That's why I like to keep them nice and slicked the right way. But God, Ben Shapiro's eyebrows are like a couple of fuzzy caterpillars on his face. They really, really are.
Make that case. I also am not sure how you defend a $2.7 million home or a $3 million income for doing those things and then say it's my labor.
And they're not
No, that's my perspective, dude. If you're going to do the it's my labor routine, welcome to capitalism, my dude. Seriously.
My dude. Welcome to capitalism, my dude. Only capitalism believes the workers should be paid for their labor. That's a capitalist idea, that the workers ought to be compensated for their labor. Nope. Now that socialism, they never say anything about the workers and owning the means of production and reaping the fruits of their labor. No. That's never a thing that socialism talks about.
So it is amusing to watch the media play this game. You're a hypocrite if you are a right winger who abrogates your own principles. If you're a left wing socialist who earns millions of dollars for talking online, then you are not a hypocrite in any way. By the way, if you're a left wing outlet that rails against the evils of capitalism while taking millions of dollars from hedge funds and YouTube, you're not.
Okay. Most left-wing outlets do not rage against capitalism by any means, okay? Let's be real here, all right? Most left-wing outlets do not even come close to raging against capitalism.
Not a hypocrite either. That's the way this works. Nobody has to hold you to account or point out that you need to, if you are Young Turks, for example.
Socialism is when you don't get paid for your labor. Karl Marx. True. Can we please make the donation sound? Ben Shapiro saying, welcome to capitalism, my dude. Yeah, let's do that, actually. Someone clip that shit. Get a clip of Ben Shapiro saying, welcome to capitalism, my dude. We're making that the new donation sound. The new sub noise. Every time someone gives me money, it's going to be welcome to capitalism, my dude. That's what it's going to be. In the distance, thanks to the tier 1 sub, the prime sub. Thank you. 2 months. Thank you, says Xander God. True, Xander God indeed. Come to the website. That's where we actually have the Xander God emote.
And you attempt to crush your own unionization efforts, right? If you are the outlet for unionization is the only thing that matters. And then a couple of years ago, it turns out that people at your place are trying to unionize, and you yell at them not to unionize. Nobody seems to care very much about that. And now, here's my belief about hypocrisy. You can make the case for Hassan or TYT, or I believe Hassan used to be a TYT. You can make the case for all of these people that personal activity doesn't abrogate the principle. You can make the case that the Marxist principles are correct, and you are living in opposition to those Marxist principles because everybody is a sinner, right? This is sort of the religious perspective. There are religious principles about morals. You don't always live up to those because everybody is a sinner. That doesn't mean the morals are wrong. It means you're wrong. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say everything I'm doing is entirely justified and I'm a Marxist stalwart while simultaneously living high on the hog the way that a capitalist would. Here's my capitalist view of all this. Congratulations to Hassan on earning his business success. I hope he enjoys his $2.7 million house and his $200,000 of earned income every month. I hope he enjoys it to the fullest of his ability and lives a...
Wait, he's actually just functioning on the idea that, like, socialism is when you don't get paid. Like, socialism is when breadlines and poverty and the government takes everything from you. He's unironically operating on that perspective. Does Ben Shapiro know what socialism is? Does he actually know, like, what the definition of socialism is? If I asked him what the definition was, I feel like he'd say the definition, like dictionary definition of it, and then proceed to not apply that definition to the way he talks about it.
happy, fulfilling capitalist life. Same for all of the people over at places like TYT. But please stop pretending that you are a good Marxist if you don't live like a Marxist and justify yourself in capitalist terms.
Is TYT even Marxist? I feel like TYT is mostly like SocDem. Like, they're certainly more left-leaning than CNN or MSNBC or anything, but I don't even think that TYT is Marxist or socialist. I mean, certainly they have socialists working for them, but the lean is more SocDem, if anything. They tend to focus on, like, more pragmatic shit, like policy. And they get into the culture war shit, but they're more of a... They're closer to being a serious news and political discussion show than I am, by all means.
Because that ain't the way this works. At least acknowledge your sins against the great gods of socialist redistribution. I know what you're thinking. It's time to binge some more Ben Shapiro videos. Well,
okay. TYT is mostly SocDem, true. Anna Kasparian has been leaning further left lately. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, didn't Ben Shapiro and Anna Kasparian debate? I guess Anna Kasparian probably pissed Ben Shapiro off and won or something. That would be really cool. Yeah, is he coping? That's actually great. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and of course join my fan Discord where we watch movies and play games. And I even debate people in there. So if you want to debate me, be sure to join the fan Discord in order to do that. And of course, if you want to support me financially to help me doing what I keep doing what I do, welcome to capitalism. You can donate, subscribe, or gift subs over on my website, YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, Streamlabs, whatever you choose to support me with. Don't donate if you can't afford it. Only do it if it's money you don't need and you don't know what to do with it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Guys, I think it's time for media share. Oh yeah, Anna was friends with Michael Brooks. Michael Brooks died like right before I moved out to California. I remember right before my move. Are you guys still interested in the road trip video? I've still got the files in my computer, and I got really far into editing it, and then I ran into a problem, and my progress got corrupted, so I have to start all over again. Are you guys actually interested in seeing the road trip video? Me and Lonnie driving from Florida to California? Should I try to get that going again? Probably not. No, I don't think it's still all that newsworthy at this point. Here, I got the dog. Yep, I got the dog. What the dog doing?
Wasn't there one more segment though? I thought there was something else you were supposed to talk about. So short. I'm not sure. Well, you're so. How are you bad at picking up dogs too? Support her weight. Oh my god. Oh.
Kinda doing it. I'm kinda carrying her, right? I'm not good at carrying animals, chat. Nor am I good at carrying babies. And this animal is most definitely a baby. Okay. There you go, little baby. Oh yeah, there we go. She's kind of dumb because she's so small, so she might try to jump off. Hello, Emmy. This is Emmy. She is a teacup Yorkie. She's very energetic, and she is adorable. She's got two little button eyes and a little button nose. This is my dog. I got her in probably 2015, I think, is when we got her. And since my parents are here in California, I'm looking after her at the moment because my mom's out of town. But the dog hangs out here every once in a while, but usually she's not here. Media share first. Yeah, we're gonna do media share One Piece. Don't worry. Oh, good baby. Oh, what a good baby. Lonnie will have to come take her whenever I'm done petting her here because she will try to poop and pee on my floor. She's not potty trained. She has to pee on little pads that we take to the trash, and she will attempt to pee and poop on my floor. She looks like an old woman. She is old. She's still very hyper and runs around, but she is old. She's like probably 11 or 12, maybe 13. She was 8 when we got her. It's a rat. It's a Yorkie. Teacup Yorkie. Look at her. Look at, oh, little baby. Oh, look at that little baby. Oh, look at her yawn. She's got like 4 teeth. She was a rescue. She had a tough life before we got her. She was a rescue. We've had her for about like 6 years now, maybe. Not me and Lonnie, but my family. We've had her for about 6 years, maybe. Sorry, that's not a dog, Zan. Yeah, it's a dog. Look at her. She's got the nose and everything, and she barks. She's very nice. She barks. She barks loudly. You're gonna give her a bath today? Oh, she's slipping. She's slipping. She would not survive the fall if she fell off my legs right now. The like 1.5 foot fall from my legs to the floor. It's really not much. It might just be a foot. Would probably kill her. She's so tiny. She would not survive that fall. I heckin' loves your doggo reminds me of the therapy pupper that an instructor in nursing school had. 13 out of 10 pupperina. Thank you, Austin Space. Thanks for the $5. No, she's a good baby. She's a very nice dog. She's extremely nice. She loves everybody. She doesn't bite. She doesn't scratch or do anything bad other than pee and poop on the floor. She's a very good dog. She's very good. Her name is Emmy. Oh, she's licking my microphone. That's not for licking. That's not eating. You can't eat that. I cooked, like, the way that she eats, she has, like, the most, yeah, she is an Ewok. She's a little Wookiee. She makes a Wookiee noise. She makes the little, like, she makes that noise when she's really excited. If you get her excited and you get her, like, we say, like, you get her engine started up, you gotta go, like, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it? And she'll be like, and she'll make a Wookiee noise. It's really cute. Was she stretching? Yeah, she's a good dog. Yeah, but she's got brittle bones. She's old. She's tiny and old, and you know, she's small and very, very tiny. Make the noise. She won't make it in my lap. She has to be like, it's like right, if we left for 10 minutes and came back, then maybe, and she was on the ground and we were exciting her and getting her all hyped that we were back after like 10 minutes, she might do the Wookiee growl because she's excited enough. Okay, she wants to get on the ground. All right, Woo Woo. Her nickname is Woo Woo. Emmy Woo Woo. She's wagging her tail. All right, Emmy, come on. Follow me. She's also very obedient. She listens very well. How'd you go, baby? She's very obedient. Yeah, she can't even jump on the bed or the couch or anything. She can't jump onto a pillow if it's on the ground. She has to climb it. We have to get like really short pillows, you know, that aren't too puffy so that she can climb up the side of it to get on the pillow. She likes to sleep on little pillows, like little throw pillows that are about the size of her. That's what she likes to sleep on. What a good pupper. She kind of looks like a hamster.
Welcome to capitalism, my dude.
There it is. Hey, okay. I'll make that the dono. I'll make that the dono noise after stream today. I'll make that the dono noise. Yeah, Lonnie has a little tiny pillow under her desk that Emmy likes to sleep on. If you don't have a pillow, you can fold up like a blanket or better yet, like a pillowcase. If you fold up a pillowcase a few times, it'll be thick and small enough for her to lay on and feel comfortable, and it'll be like a little mattress for her. She just loves laying on tiny little things. She's adorable. Adorable little dog. Yeah, she's like a little otter. Okay. Well, chat. Many videos have been donated through Media Share, and we finished our segments, so looks like it's time. Here we go. Hey, Lonnie, could you bring me my my weed pen back since we're doing Media Share now? After media share, I'm going to do a watch party of the second half of Return of the King, Extended Edition, Lord of the Rings, in my Discord, so that A-Pillow can be caught up. And we might, if we have time, start The Hobbit tonight. If everyone is up for it, we might start The Hobbit, but I don't know if we'll have time, because like the second half of Return of the King is already so long. We'll see. All right. Lonnie, bring me my weed. I need my weed. Oh, my door is locked. I accidentally locked my door. I need the weed. Lonnie, I need my weed.
There's a huge delay, so it takes me a second.
Yeah, there is a huge delay.
Remind everybody about the Phasmo stream tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you, babe. Yeah, everybody, we're doing a Phasmophobia stream tomorrow. Denim's Demon Mama, me, and Celine. We're going to be playing my harem, if you will. We'll be playing Phasmophobia. We'll be hunting some ghosts. Who would have known Xander Hall's harem would be in ghost hunting, in a ghost hunting game? Who would have thought? Oh, yes, that's your rate. Oh, yeah, that's pleasant. That's very pleasant. Thank you for donating this during the segment. I really appreciated that, Mr. Krabs. Turn it down too loud. Oh, yeah, we barely need to hear this one. Why am I canceled, Will BBG? What'd I do? I didn't break TOS, did I? Why not turn it down? I did. There's just a delay, Lonnie. I'm gonna Roblox myself? No, you're not, Lonnie. You would never do that. Everyone blame One Piece for that, by the way. That was all One Piece's fault. Whoa. Is this gonna be a bopper? Let's see if this is a bopper. Or the harem joke? Ah, yes. Hey, Raincloud, how you doing? True, fuck Dave Chappelle. Yeah, this is Weebs versus Sonic fans part 2. True. Who will win? Mr. Krabs fights the entire war between the Weebs and Sonic fans. There doesn't seem to be that much Sonic stuff. There's a few Sonic things queued up here.
So we will dance to the dance.
All right, maybe this is like the Mandela effect or something, but I swear I have a memory of like back in the day of Dave Chappelle saying the reason he stopped doing his show, the Chappelle Show, was because at times he felt like people were laughing at him and not with him, or were laughing at the black community and not with him, and he didn't feel comfortable with that. Was that not true? Was that made up, or was that a myth or a rumor, or was that true? Did he actually say that? I feel like he might have said that. Not true? He didn't say that? Alright. Okay, I forgot there was so much of a delay. Marco! "20-second delay. Holy shit. It's a 20-second delay, just about. Jesus, I did not know it was that bad. Yeah, YouTube just won't let me turn it on to ultra low latency. It just kept switching it back over and over again, and there was nothing I could do. Yeah, that's a 20-second delay right there. Jesus Christ, YouTube needs to get their shit together. I say Marco, you're supposed to say Polo Show. Yeah, Nina, I gotta look into that. You guys missed it. We watched it. It was good. Yeah, Rain Cloud. It's you donate a video and the amount of it plays based on your donation amount. I recognize we have some new people watching the stream today, and for all those people, for starters, please subscribe and ring the bell icon. That's always appreciated, and like the stream and whatnot. But also, if you're wondering what we're doing right now, this is Media Share. Basically, if you click the Streamlabs link linked down below my stream, you can donate an amount of money along with a link to a video. And your money is worth a certain amount of time, so the more you donate, the more of the video that plays. So people can take advantage of this to donate videos they want me to watch, even specific parts of the video. And yeah, you guys can try to impress me, try to make me laugh, try to make me upset, try to annoy me or make me bored, whatever you guys like. You can donate any video, and I think it's a more entertaining way to do donations on a stream. I think for media is to have Media Share. It's way more entertaining. Many people like to spam these Sonic videos. No, it's all good, Rain Cloud. You just hang out. Yeah, and this is the type of stream where I just like to lay back and smoke some weed and relax. If this is the song that I think it is. Yeah, so I have this on my playlist now. This is a fucking bopper. This song is a fucking bopper, okay? Thank you for introducing me to it, Mr. Krabs. This song bops hard. I put it in my playlist. It's great. I listened to it right before stream, I think. This song slaps. I don't know what it's about or what it means. It just slaps. I like that emote, Lonnie. These are the femboyification factories, by the way.
Dark nights are upon us. Black magic slays on the chorus. For the choirs in tune with an angel. Foresight of the broken shaders. May hope to meet and combine us within sorrow and blindness.
It slaps so hard.
Sake. Where's the pride when we needed it to carry away?
Yeah, Herzberg, this song does slap.
Now she walks, leaving trails of the damned. Fall into the hands of sorrow, drawn by the darkest pain. Walk into the pit of silence. I am the one calling your name. Are you the name of violence? Sentenced you down to hell. Live or you will die. Just let it sing. Fetch me the tools so I create this instrument. Cyanide.
Yeah, you can eat, you lesbian.
Dark nights have upon us. I walk this river of conscience for a time will come to escape here. This Lent is an open vengeance. I'm laid in here for the longest time. The deadliest quiet times for my awakening.
I hope I don't copyright it, because this song slaps.
Where's the pride when we needed it to carry away? This decay has derailed. Now she walks, leaving trails of the damned. Fall into the hands of sorrow, drawn by the darkest pain. Walk into the pit of silence. I am the one calling your name. I in the name of violence, sentence you down to hell. Live or you will die. Just for the sake, fetch me the tools so I create this instrument of cyanide. It's time for you to leave, or so it may seem. Empower, desire to reignite the flames. For there's one more thing you have of mine, the chord to my strings. Power, desire to reignite the flames. So as you ascend to the heavens now, I'll drag you back down to hell. Listen to me.
Interesting One Piece. I'll check out this game. I'm so glad you donated the whole song to One Piece. Yeah, it's like a Evanescence and System of a Down like collab almost. Yeah, that's spot on, Retrocritic.
Fall into the hands of sorrow, drawn by the darkest pain. Walk into the pit of silence. I am the one calling your name. I am the name of violence, sentence you down to hell. Live or you will die. Just for the sake, fetch me the tools so I create this instrument for cyanide.
It's time for you to leave, or so it may seem.
Dark nights are upon us. Black magic slays on the chorus.
Drag you back down to hell. Listen to me.
I'm laid in here for the longest
There's
time.
no mine.
Dark nights are upon us.
Such a banger, dude. fucking banger, dude. That song slaps. I'm so glad. This is a song I'm glad Mr. Krabs donated to me. I put this shit on my playlist, okay? I should make my music playlist public on my channel. I think it might already be. Any song on my music playlist is a slapper, okay? That's all you need to know, alright? If it's on my music playlist, you're gonna be bopping. Oh, god damn it. This song doesn't sound like it should be from a Sonic game, even. I've thought about playing those Guitar Hero games and getting one of those like Guitar Hero controllers and doing streams where I try to get good at that. Like, if I was a woman, my like dream would be to get fucked by one of those guys that's a professional Guitar Hero player. Because imagine what they can do with their fingers, you know? That would be my dream if I was like a woman, alright? That's why I want to learn to be a Guitar Hero pro player, because then I can like finger 16 girls at once to climax like in 5 seconds. Yeah, there's streamers who do it though, Peeping Deer. Why not your dream now? I mean, I can't play Guitar Hero, that's why. I mean, I could finger 20 women into nutting, or lady nutting, I don't know, coming. But it would take a while. I wouldn't be able to do it like a Guitar Hero player could, you know? Like, just go at the beat of like a song, you know? Just going in and out. Super quick. That's how a Guitar Hero pro player fingers a girl, okay? Fingers multiple girls, I should say. Ah, Hunter Avalone. Hunter Avalone, thank you for the raid. Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, we finished all of our segments and all the exciting stuff, so right now we're just kind of vibing and doing media share. For those of you guys that don't know, media share is where basically you can donate a video to me, and the amount of the video that plays is based on the donation amount. And so you can force me to watch videos of your choosing from YouTube and, you know, set a start time and then have it play through and everything. And so right now we're watching Sonic videos because that's what people have been donating. So yeah, if you're new, of course, be sure to follow me, subscribe, ring the bell icon, like the stream, all of that, and hopefully enjoy your stay here, no matter how long it may be. Also, Hunter, hey, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Are you here still? Can you do Walking Dead? Not today, I don't think. We're gonna keep doing media share probably for the next like 20 minutes, and then if we have time, we might. But actually, we are going to be doing a oh yeah, if we play any games today, it'll be the Destroy All Humans remake. Yeah, because we want to finish that. We could probably finish that today, but not today because we are doing a watch party in my Discord after stream, which will be in maybe like an hour. I think I'll finish up, maybe 30 minutes. We'll see. I'll be doing a watch party of Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King Extended Edition. Only the second half, though, for a friend who had to leave early last time we watched it. And we might be starting The Hobbit tonight. And, of course, it'll be the extended edition and all of that. So, yeah. If you guys want to see that, join the Discord, because we'll be doing a watch party of that. And I'll be streaming it on my end, so you guys will all be able to watch the movie and hear my input and talk as well if it's your first time watching. So, yeah. Do all those things. I did with Life is Strange, Lonnie. I want to do that dance from that one video, the dance to your dad video. I do that dance. I do that dance. I think I can do it. It's like
I'm doing alright, I'm on my way, facing every moment, day by day. Take a chance, go back, no time to into wide, head straight, head straight.
I'm high as fuck.
What will I become if I don't look back? Give myself a reason for this and that.
There's a human in the dance too, you know that, right? Movie blocks, there's a kid and a dog, and that's the dance. You only finished Life is Strange because lesbians? I did want to see some scissoring, alright? And I didn't get it. And Rule 34 has yet to impress me yet. In regards to the Life is Strange porn department for True Colors. Scissoring's real. You can't convince me it's not. Lesbians don't actually do that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Lesbians do. They do scissor. You can't convince me otherwise. The DLC is 3 hours, and I'll play it. Thoughts? Oh yeah, that dude's a fucking idiot. Yeah, Pepe the Frog is fine. Don't give the right Pepe the Frog, you fucking morons. Who's right? Me and Lonnie actually watched Feels Good Man recently. Me and Lonnie actually recently watched Feels Good Man, which is a documentary about the creation and the life of the creator of Pepe the Frog, and the sort of journey that he went through as he saw Pepe the Frog become a massive internet meme, then be taken by the alt-right, and then being sort of reclaimed by the normies again, that is to say the non-Nazis, and just becoming a ubiquitous internet symbol the Nazis no longer own. It was actually a really heartwarming documentary, and I saw people, including Cops Hate Mo, saying that we should retire Pepe now and just not use Pepe anymore after seeing that documentary, and I just don't agree. I don't agree. The creator doesn't seem to want Pepe to just be retired. He seems happy with the fact that Pepe has become sort of a reclaimed symbol now, and yeah, I think we should continue to use Pepe in a non-hateful way. I don't want to give Pepe away. Pepe's amazing. Yeah. I should do a watch party of that? I might. That could be a fun watch party. Yeah, punk-minded, I know. Guys, do you know what kills right-wing memes and right-wing movements? Making their lingo popular and normie. The reason why the right wanted Pepe was because the normies hadn't gotten to him yet, or they were worried about the normies getting to him. And so they tried to make Pepe the least attractive character to use if you're a normie possible. That's why they made him into a Nazi thing. Then the left and normies kept using him, and now Pepe has become so ubiquitous on the internet that the Nazis don't even care about Pepe anymore. It's the specific Groyper one now that means anything, and even that is so niche, nobody even cares about it. You know, like, that's how you kill a right-wing meme. Like, Based, Sigma Male. You know there's right-wingers who actually believe, like, used Based unironically, and still do, and even, like, the Sigma Male people, right? But that becoming a meme and people using it so much has taken all the power it has. Now Sigma Male isn't quite as silly. When you hear someone say, oh, I'm a Sigma Male, you know they're being ironic at this point. Because everybody makes fun of that. When someone says based, you know, they're doing it, like, ironically. They don't mean, like, what based used to mean, which was, like, true right-wing chud values, right? There are still a lot of Pepes on 4chan. Yeah, but it's just nowhere near to the degree that it used to be, you know? Like, they don't own Pepe by any means anymore. It did for a while, Saucy Fox. I know it comes from Lil B. Alright. Listen, I love the memes about Lil B and everything like that, but you guys do know Lil B is a massive creep, right? Like, the dude just, like, goes into the, like, DMs of random women, especially sex workers, and, like, asks them for pictures of his name on their feet for free. You know, he just, like, does that all day, right? And then he retweets it on his timeline. Like, I guess it's kind of a funny meme, I suppose, but that's literally, like, a thing Lil B does all the time. He's kind of a creep in that way. But I do still like the praise Lil B, praise the based god. I do love those memes, but still, you know, it's kind of creepy. It's a little creepy. Listening to some Sonic. Damn right, Augie, that's what we're doing right now. Who's Lil B? Lil B the bass god. Yeah. And yes, we are of course watching Sonic because that's where we're at right now. Augie, that's what people are sending. Not much I can do about it. I'm good, Saucy Fox. Don't worry about that. Oh yeah, by the way, the Hunter fans should be pleased. I do love me a good bit of weed here on the Xanderhall stream. Got my concentrate sativa pen right now. We're getting nice and blazed for this, by the way. So if you're a Hunter fan, I know Hunter loves his weed. You'll feel at home here. Thanks for the raid, by the way. Yeah, I really don't like feet. Like, is it not... Do we not understand that, like, the two, like, dirtiest parts of the human body, the two most disgusting parts of the human body, are the feet and the asshole? Like, those are the two most disgusting parts of the human body, alright? At least in my opinion. Like, you're walking around... Like, your feet are what always have contact with the ground, so you're walking on shit all day, especially if you're barefoot. You're shitting out of your asshole, you know, hopefully on a daily basis. Not in my case. It's a lot easier to keep your asshole clean when you only shit once every, like, 3 or 4 days. That's actually, so unironically, I actually have the cleanest asshole around. But, like, I don't get how people are into those two areas. I just don't get it. It's not my thing. Just not my thing. If it's clean, I feast. Jesus. I don't get ass eating, that's for sure. The nose is pretty disgusting. Not my nose. I, like, blow my nose and clean it out with water till it's, like, clean enough that I can just take a breath without the slightest bit of pressure or, like, drag through my nostrils. I, like, clean the fuck out of my nose with water in the morning. Every morning and right before bed. And sometimes in the middle of the day. I like feet and won't apologize for that. Well, you're weird, awkward renegade. Please show this on screen. True. Hey chat, do you guys want to hear the song that plays? Do you guys want to hear the, well, like what song I always hear when I think of Destiny? Just based on noise, you should know. This is the song that I hear in my head every time I see Destiny. I'm taking the copyright. Am I wrong, though? Am I wrong, though? Am I fucking wrong, though? This is Photoshop, by the way, you can tell. But like, for real, though, Destiny is a small lad. Am I wrong, though? Am I wrong, though? Yeah. Yeah, no. Even better. Hold on. Even better. Hold on. No, we need his full magnificence. Where's the perfect image to use here? Destiny after playing League for 40 hours straight. This is Nebraska Steve. But before his haircut, this is how Destiny was actually looking. Hold on. Wait. Destiny streamer. He got a haircut for this event, so it doesn't even work too well here. Let's find a nice fresh... Ah, there it is. There it is. That's exactly what we needed. All right, chat. No, 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 no. Come on. Am I wrong, though? Am I wrong, though? I'm really not. I'm completely not wrong here. Lonnie, I need some vape juice. I'm choking on my vape now. I'm posting that on Twitter really quick. Hold on. What caption do I want for this, guys? What caption do I want for this tweet? What caption do I want for this tweet? All right. We got to figure out what caption. Literally Nebraska Steve. But that's not the picture of Nebraska Steve. Nebraska Steve was actually kempt. Like he had like the goatee and the fade and everything. Or no, it was more of a taper cut, I think Destiny had back in the day. Destiny before. Well, how about this? It's like a drug PSA. How about before and after League of Legends? Would that be good? Like it's a drug PSA before and after League of Legends. Hold on, I got a good idea. Hold on. There we go. Shocking images surface of Nebraska man pre and post League of Legends addiction. That's good. That's good. That's good. Caps lock? Why caps lock? Oh, you had caps lock on? That's funny. I'm so fucking stoned right now, chat. I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up right now. Bro, hey. Here, I'll like, hey, if you comment below this tweet, right? If for the next 2 minutes, if you comment below this tweet, I'll like your tweet. I will like your tweet if you comment down below in the next, if you like this tweet and comment down below in the next 2 minutes, okay? I'll like it. I'll like your reply. Here's the link. Boost this one. This is a good meme. Yeah, I am Xeno King. It's a long delay. I won't follow you, but I'll like your comment. Get that up there. Get that to 100. Get that to 100. How many viewers we got right now? 222. Yeah, get this to 100. Get this to 100. Get this to 100, dude. Come on. Come on. Dude. Get this to 100 right now. I know you all got Twitter accounts. Come on. Cool. Keep it going. Come on. Let's get to 100. I posted it in YouTube chat. This is a good meme. This is my best meme yet. Here to collect my likes, bitches. What League does to motherfucker? Hi. This better be. And I'm not liking this one. This person doesn't follow me. You gotta follow me too. Major W. True. Look at this. Look at this. Get it higher. Come on. 75. True. Come on. We're so close, chat. Let's get it up. The one time having a Twitter comes in handy. True. Be the perfect image. Wait for it. Wait for it. Destiny and Vaush. No more Stalin? Alright. Let's get unstunlocked. We did good memes today. We did good memes today. That gnome bitch better follow me after that meme. I swear to God. If he doesn't see that tweet and follow my Twitter, I'm gonna bite his balls. I'll bite his balls is what I'll do. I can say that. He's no longer a partnered Twitch streamer. I'll bite his balls if he doesn't follow me on Twitter, like in this tweet. Nice. Alrighty, more media share. God help me. Suffering. Fuck, is there oh. Oh, Chud Logic, thanks for the raid. Chud Logic, thank you for the 72 raiders. That's a lot of people too. Damn, dude, you're getting big. I'm proud of you, Chud Logic. I remember back in the day when you were a 12 viewer Andy, and I'd see your streams and I'd be like, that dude's gonna get big. He's gonna get big. I like him. I'm glad you're doing well, man. I heard that you took a break a little while back, so I'm glad that you're back and popping off, I can see. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate that, buddy. For all the new people here, we're currently doing media share. I'm stoned as fuck. I got a little bit of the devil's lettuce here. Got my THC sativa concentrate vape pen right now. Smoking some weed, getting stoned as fuck, and of course doing media share where basically people can donate an amount of money with a video link, and the video will play for the amount of money that they donated. And so people have been donating me random songs and Sonic videos and weird shit like that. And you guys donate, the video pops up, the bar, goes across depending on how much you donate, and I watch the video. And your goal is to try to make me laugh, because every time I laugh, I have to take a hit from the vape pen with the weed. My dog is barking. Is this like boss music in Undertale or something? This sounds like Undertale boss music, if there is any. I've never played Undertale. Not a second of it. I don't think I've even seen gameplay of it, frankly. I hate you, chat. I hate you. I hate that you pulled this off. If you make it perfect, I will be so surprised. You didn't get it perfect, but I hate you guys so much that you're able to pull that off. It's over, I can't pronounce your name. The debate was a while ago. Is streamer a Tarantino fan? Why, yes, I am a Tarantino fan. I love the N-word. That was a joke, all right? No clippers. But yes, I do love Quentin Tarantino. He makes good movies. Do I like feet? No. I love that the delay means I can just sit back and watch as the thing I said like 20 seconds ago happens. I'm offended. This bops. I assume this is from a Sonic game? Looks like it is. This is Mr. Krabs said, Cousin Dick? This is a real song played in literally every festival ever. Why the fuck does TYT have an ass emote? Do they really? Holy shit, they do. Wait, hold on, real? TYT has a farting ass emote. On, the Young Turks has a farting ass emote on Twitch. Oh! This is like another video, like a music video for that song. This song fucking slaps. I will absolutely listen to it again. This song fucking slaps. Prepare yourselves. This song slaps. I've been meaning to check this game out.
Dark nights are upon us. Black magic slays on the chorus. All the choirs into riven angel. Foresight of the broken sailors. Bring hope to meet and combine us.
God, it slaps.
Sorrow and blindness will follow where the path of freedom can rejoin us now. We bow before a fake, for goodness sake. Where's the pride when we needed it to carry away? This decade has derailed. Now she walks, leaving trails of the
This song is good.
fall into the hands of sorrow, drawn by the darkest pain. Walk into the pit of silence. I am the one calling your name. I am the name of violence, sentenced you down to hell. Live or you will die. Just let it sing. Fetch me the dawn, so I create justice from us. For cyanide.
Someone please donate this.
Dark nights have devoured us.
You know who has to do it.
I walk this river of conscience for a time will come to escape here. This Lent is an open vengeance. I've laid in here for the longest time. The deadliest quiet times for my awakening. This reckoning will see the light tonight. We bow before our faith, for goodness sake. Where's the pride when we needed it to carry away? This decay has derailed. Now see what's leaving trails of the damned.
Such a bopper. The art's good too.
Fall into the hands of sorrow.
Sus!
Drawn by the darkest pain.
I saw sus!
Into the pit of silence. I am the one calling your name. I in the name of violence. Sentence you down to hell. Live or you will
This song fucking slaps.
ashes split apart. It is then I'll take out his heart.
I want a video game that has boss music like this.
Drawn by the darkest bay, walk into the pit of silence. I am the one calling your name.
It's Devil May Cry 5.
Shaped into down to hell. Live or you will die. Just for the sake between the tools. So I create this instrument. Silent night.
It's time for you to leave, or so it may seem.
Dark nights are upon us. Black magic slays on the chorus.
Drag you back down to hell. Listen to me.
I'm waiting here for the longest
There's
time.
no way.
Dark nights are upon us.
Such a slapper. Such a fucking slapper, dude. Song fucking hits hard. I want there to be like a game where the boss fights, the boss music is like that, or that the boss is actually singing their own boss music. That would be dope, and it was like that. Like a game kind of like Dark Souls, only every boss
That
in the
Mike's
game.
produc-
Imagine a game. Oh, hold on. Imagine a game with boss battles, and the bosses have their own like groupies or whatever, like their own backup band that fucking sings up on rafters or up like out of the boss arena when you're fighting the boss, and it's just like hard like metal, and the boss is singing and it sounds great, and it's just the boss that you're fighting hyping himself up in his own theme song that he's singing as you fight him, and it's like a Dark Souls game kind of. Imagine, that's what I want to see. That's a game I'd like to see.
Production quality is garbage. That Mike here looks like a scary, greasy murderer, and
True.
that
True.
Mike does not have the greatest track record of honesty. Okay.
True.
So, with that out of the way, I just want to. This is the thing. I want to get my insults out of the way at the beginning, okay? Because just because Mike looks like he's going to kill all of us by wrapping his sweaty hands around our necks, yes, he does look like Nosferatu. Even though he looks like a recently deceased corpse, it is actually possible, and I mean this unironically, it is actually possible that he has something here, okay? So,
I remember the bow drama. That video
hold
did well
on.
when I talked about it.
Listen, Gayfesh, I know it's mean, but everyone was going to be saying this. So I want everyone to get it out of their system
There
now.
was a game
laugh
Denims
now,
told me about that was
and then
kinda like
let's
that.
try.
There was this game Denims showed me. She showed me like the trailer for it when I went to visit her a while back, and it was like a shooter game, an FPS, where you have to shoot on the beat of the music. It's like there's constant rock music going, and there's a visualizer, and you can only shoot when the beat drops. So you have to strategize your fights around, like you have to shoot with the beat, and so you're like fighting, it looked like Doom. You're like fighting demons and aliens and all sorts of monsters while like metal is playing, and you're shooting on the beat. So when it goes, you go with your gun. I believe, I don't remember what the name of the game was, but Denim showed it to me and it looked pretty dope.
and hear him out.
Hey,
okay?
Jezak.
Let's try
BPM,
and
yeah,
hear
it's the
him
name of the
out.
game, BPM.
He does look like a
Yeah,
deep
yeah,
fake of
yeah, yeah.
himself. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, hold on. This looked actually really cool to me. This was the game that Denim showed me, BPM. I remember it looking pretty cool. This is the trailer for it. Yeah, it looks cool. Dem showed me the trailer for that game like a year ago. I bet it's out by now. That looks sick. What the fuck? I thought you were talking about Doom. It's kind of like Doom, but you have to shoot on the beat, and the music's a fucking bopper. Although Doom has some bopper music too. I haven't played any of the new Doom games. I've been meaning to. I might do it on stream, but I don't know if it'll be. I don't know if it'll be a good game for streaming. Doom will, you know. This is making my autistic ass nut. Yeah, it is a pretty autistic game, but that's always a good sign. I like really autistic games, like Eco. It's a lot of fun. I like it. You always have something you need to be doing, and I don't like downtime in games. That's why I don't like Minecraft as much anymore. Minecraft has so much downtime and so little to do now, unless you're playing a severely modded version. So, like, that's why my favorite Minecraft sort of thing at the moment is probably Sevtech Ages, because it makes Minecraft into one of those, like, hyper autistic, like, everything to do constantly, lots of stuff to do, and something to be done at every waking moment. You can't even do everything there is to do. I love games like that.
I agree. Okay. All right. We will look at this. We will look at the LA Times thing. We'll take a look. Don't worry. We're doing the investigation. You all here get to see the level of quality that I always do. You know that I do this. You know that I always do a deep investigation. And even though I'm a catty bitch sometimes, and I do think that Mike looks like the recently embalmed.
True.
Even though he looks like he could be the Scranton Strangler.
True.
From Scranton, PA. Even though he looks like Dwight Schrute's fucking estranged cousin.
True.
Okay? He might be onto something. Somebody's looks are not...
That was good. Eco would suck down some of your life like that. Yeah, Eco is a, it's a job. God damn it. It's at least a new one. Mike ruined my zombie fetish. Excuse me? Zombie fetish? Johnny Torres, we're watching Sonic videos now. Pops a little. Check my tweet.
Will to fight in a world that's
fucking time. Minecraft stream, please. We're gonna do VR Minecraft soon, Sherry. Don't worry. Don't worry about it, Crabs. It's kind of a bopper, though. It kind of bops a little, though. I'll give you that. It kind of bops a little, though. Guys, I'm high. We're out of media share videos, and we gotta get watching a movie in the Discord. Everybody, listen up. Here's what you need to do, okay? You want to go into my fan Discord, okay? If you're not in it, join it. ! Discord in the website chat, I believe, and it is in the description of all my other streams. So wherever it's where you need it to be. Join the Discord, and you're gonna want to at mods and admins to get member, or just at me, and join Xander's Theater. I've just joined it. I'm muted and deafened in there, but you're gonna want to join Xander's Theater, because in a few moments, I'm going to be starting The Return of the King, the second half, extended edition, Lord of the Rings, and then maybe a bit of The Hobbit if we can start that. And we're doing a big watch party, so make sure to join that. I'm already in it, so get in there, Xander's Theater, come on. And yeah, I'm wrapping up the stream, Cherry. We'll see if they have time. Yeah, we're gonna watch it, and it's gonna be a fun time. We gotta make sure A-Pillow gets in there. I gotta message A-Pillow really quick. Okay, we got a lot of people in here. It's looking good. It's Pog. Slavic Bimbo. Ooh. Sheesh. Yeah, it was a fun stream, everybody. Thank you all for coming in. It's been a fun day. Everybody, join the Discord. Join Xander's Theater. All right, everybody. Thank you all for watching today, and have a sussy evening. Oh, yeah, Lonnie, come watch Lord of the Rings with us. Just the second half of the final movie. Come on, it's the most exciting half of it. It's basically battle scenes. Come watch it with us, Lonnie. You join the Discord call, and I will. If you come watch it with us, Lonnie, I will give you a lotion massage on all of your back and your shoulders and your neck and everything for the rest of the night afterwards. Okay, Lonnie, if you come and you watch it with us for the rest of the night, as soon as the movie's over, I will come and give you a big massage with lotion and everything, and I won't stop until it's time to go to bed. We got a deal, Lonnie? Will you come watch it with us? I really want Lonnie to watch Lord of the Rings. It's only the second half of the third movie. It's not even a full movie. Lonnie, come on. What say you? What say you, Lonnie? All right. I assume she's not watching, but I'm going to make that deal with her really quick. Okay, guys. I love you all very much. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for supporting me. I really, really appreciate it. You've all been super amazing. And yeah, join the Discord, get in that chat, and I will see all of you probably tomorrow. I think I'm streaming tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sure I'm streaming tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow.